Time out, time out. Just so you guys know, my name is PJ Montano. I'm your head referee and your athlete liaison for the Subversiv event on November 22nd. I'm here to give you guys a rundown on what to expect from our no-gi jiu-jitsu and our combat jiu-jitsu. All submissions illegal, even flying scissors. Slamming is encouraged. The only thing we can't do in this, we can't eye gouge, we can't growing gouge, and we can't spike. So one of the most important rules that you guys have to understand is we have what's called a get down rule, which means if you don't do something for the first minute, either fighter, whoever was the most aggressive fighter in that first minute, you get a choice of what positions you want to be in. The person gets the choice of you either be in butterfly, underneath with underhooks, or on top of the butterfly. If you get 2 warnings, you will be moved to top mount. For our no-gi situation, you've got 6 minutes to come out and show us what you're made of. That's what you're here for. That's what you've been handpicked for. So we need to know what you're made of in the first 6 minutes because there is no overtime. With our combat jiu-jitsu, you got 7 minutes to slap the shit out of each other. So you got 7 minutes, again, with a get down rule after that first minute. If you don't bring it, you will be placed in either that butterfly position, top or bottom. Our open palm strikes regulations are based off of this. It's on a ground opponent, whether that be one knee or one butt cheek. I can slap you as hard as I possibly want. That comes up or that knee comes up, I can no longer strike you. Our overtime is not like anything else you've ever seen or experienced. There is no submission. Within that overtime, it is only 90 seconds, you guys. That's not a lot of time to come after. So you do have that 10-second shot clock of the get down rule as well, and we will enforce it. We need to know about strike effectiveness. Overall aggression and control is what's going to determine the outcome of your fight. Don't make it come down to the judge's decision. Search for that TKO. And if you leave it in the judge's hands, that's on you for not using yours. In case you forgot, the #1 rule about Fight Club, you don't talk about it.
Please welcome your first opponent here tonight, Nick Ono!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fight Club, Subversiv Fight Club. My name is Ravis Marza, and do I have a great co-commentator here with me today. One of the nicest human beings, a professional through and through. Kendall, how are you doing, Kendall?
After that beautiful intro, I am doing fantastic. Really appreciate the kindest person. Yeah, I mean, definitely when I'm on a job. I'm just kidding.
No. You are a professional and honestly a delight to do commentary with. And you know, somehow we have never really gotten the opportunity to do it. And I'm so happy we get to make that.
I know. I'm excited too because I really like hearing you on commentary. And honestly, this is gonna sound bratty, but I'm pretty picky. A lot of times I just turn the volume down. No, I'm serious. I just turn the volume down, and like my fiance and I will just be watching an event, and I'm just like, turn it off. And we'll just watch it in silence, and we'll just talk while the match is going on. And whenever you're on, I will say I don't do that. So that's a great start.
Kendall, same. Legitimately, what you just said is exactly a struggle we have here in jiu-jitsu, and I'm so happy that we get to be the people who walk you all through these excellent matches for you guys tonight. It does look like we have a
ladies and gentlemen, please
Let's
welcome
go back
his
and hear our second
opponent,
announcement.
Matt Padilla.
Matt Padilla. This match is super fun because Nick Ono, this guy, we wanted a match for him from the very beginning, but every opponent kept falling through, so it was looking like he wasn't going to get on the card. And literally, I think yesterday, we finally got Matt Padilla to match up with Nick Ono on the card for this match. And man, super, super excited. We were hoping this was going to happen.
And I'm going to be honest here, as part of the reason why we wanted to put them at the top of the card, we said, we'll start with some fireworks here because you always want to set the tone.
Yeah.
And we felt confident that this is going to be one of those matches, a good return on demand, and a surprise to all. Maybe perhaps even them yesterday where they said, oh, I have a match? Mm-hmm. Yes, the answer is yes, you do. So I think it's going to be very fun. We have our master, a.k.a. our good friend, one PJ Montano, who is going to be walking you through the action. He will be our ref and eyes and ears, and you know, you don't mess around with PJ.
I've seen people try. It doesn't usually go super well.
He is heavy pressure. I am scared of that man.
He gets spicy.
He does.
He does.
Well, we start off with the action. Nice little point over to the acknowledgement of our team, and here we go. Starting off with some prioritized good action. And one of the things that you do find in this environment is already when the shot does get stuffed is that once wonder if the pressure plays an element in this action, because I felt like a lot of the guys were chomping at the bit to get on the mats tonight.
For sure. There's definitely a different vibe happening tonight with the music, the club vibe, and we see that in the first 3 seconds. You know, Nick Ono already in on such a deep shot, but now potentially here we've got Anaconda and Darce territory, depending on where Matt looks to be going, and of course back exposure as well.
You know what's really nice is this control is like nobody wants to move aggressively, and here a back take is possible. It is very close, and it looks like he's going to get both of the hooks in. Oh, this is getting close here, Kendall.
Wow. That was such a beautiful, when people are on front headlocks, it's important to realize that not only is your neck at a disadvantage, your back is also being exposed and open, because when you go hard on the defense for your neck, you open up your back. And then if you go hard on defending your back, you open up your neck. He was able to use that, climb to the back. Now we see a very strong body triangle. He's also using that left foot to, you know, change the direction of Nick. Like, you can use the foot behind the knee to rotate them side to side depending on where you want them to be, so you can keep really good back control as you chase the neck.
And this is so tough when you've got that arm on that shoulder. It can be a done deal, but even though it's not finished, it itches very close. Look how we've made these small adjustments, and we are looking at a real threat in this moment. Oh, and maybe switching off here, Kendall.
Yeah, potentially coming over the top on the arm. Matt's got to be careful, though. Nick Ono is super bendy, as I was going to say. That was incredible, and a fully extended locked armbar. And he didn't even do a complete running man escape out of it. He kind of just bit down and took it, but now the neck, this is tight. This is tight.
We're looking to see if this arm is going to get the tap
this could
right
be
now.
on. This could be on. Man, this is really tight. You're seeing a little bit of a last-minute defense with almost like an answer the phone, as if it's an arm triangle. But it's not quite enough. But
it does bring out. Wow. Kendall, I got to tell you, most people probably don't survive that right there, but he finds his way back up to the feet, and the crowd is excited, as promised here.
Most people, they don't defend that Darce Anaconda combo. They don't defend the back, they don't defend the choke, they don't defend the arm, and they don't defend the mounted guillotine, but we've seen Nick Ono do it all.
A lot of different level threats happening all at once. And already things off to a smashing start here at Subversiv Fight Club. And again, cannot thank you guys enough for watching along with us. All right, we're looking at the possibility of passing guard, but now it's going to be a switch of position. And wow, excellent change of fate here.
Yeah, Nick Ono was doing a great job at trying to come to the back. And as he ended up on top, he almost ended up in an arm triangle, which would have been a really great addition to his pass. But now he could be in danger. I'm sorry, Matt Padilla was the one who ended up with an arm triangle. No. Nick Ono. From this angle with the black on black, it's really hard sometimes.
You know, here's the thing, guys. It takes a second, okay? we're getting our eyes adjusted here. But you know what's been great is just, like, they seem super happy to be exchanging about 20 different small hand fights. And for me, I just think to myself, I'm like, I got 3 of those hand fights, and then I think I'm just trying to chill. But here, no chill, not at all. All right, looking over here, maybe trying to work a little bit of guard, or maybe going into half guard. Hard to see in this particular position. And he might be able to pull off a pass. He's securing the legs, a heavy blockage to try and get some sort of distance, not getting too much.
Yeah, it's interesting the way that he used his hips and his knees to smash the knees together, but he ended up losing control of the hips. So even though the knees were smashed, the legs were compressed, the hips were not quite stuck enough. And as I say that, though, we're seeing, climbing the high guard up, looking for that top lock on the top of the shoulders to expose the arms, but able to punch the shoulders through and break through.
And you know what's great is looking at the way, like, it's a very nice system that he's putting to try and get a pass here. Like, I saw him aggressively moving his hand positioning to try and loosen this up, and now an underhook here could be, it looked like he was thinking about a sweep, but now switches on over to playing a little bit more of that nice 10th planet game.
Yeah, one thing we're seeing so much lately from those positions with that shoulder crunch type lock is a lot of Choi bars. They're on fire right now. I thought that's what we were potentially going to see.
Especially when you see that little transition of that arm, you think it could be possible. But these boys are scrapping.
Raph, do we have a live clock on our side? I can't see the time, huh?
We don't on our side. We don't have a monitor on our side, but you get the impression this feels like it's going.
Yeah.
Perhaps not even the distance, but maybe we're giving him a few extra seconds. You know, one of the funniest things that I remembered seeing in the last Subversiv was in the comments section, people were saying, hey, where is the clock? And I have to tell you, there is a designated party that is giving the clock. So to me, you kind of get lost in all of this that you're like, wait, is this 6 minutes or 7 minutes?
Now, you could say it's because there's just so much action. You get distracted in the match because, yeah, look at this. Oh, now we're coming into the legs here for the first time in this match.
It's a reap, but it still looks a little shallow here as they're going to trade that position. And now get back to the top, seeing how this may play out. And that actually answers a few questions for us. That little clack in the background you hear means both these gentlemen have just a few seconds left to go within regulation. And unfortunately, there is not going to be an overtime, so now it's going to render us to a decision. We'll see how this plays out. I mean, some really fun back and forth by both of these gentlemen.
I mean, primarily, Subversiv, what we're looking for is submission attacks, right, and deep submission attacks. So I think in that regard, it was pretty one-sided here in this match. So let's see what the refs think.
All right. Some casual greeting for the opposite side coaches. Always love to see that. I mean, listen, dude, I have to say, it's always nice when you get somebody here who takes it at the last minute. You have an appreciation for your partner in this dance. And it looks like right now they're about to make the official announcement as we are conferring with our judges, our referees, and we will hear what they have to say here in just 1 second. Again, thank you to all of our sponsors who came through so wonderfully. I've had some tipsy tacos tonight, and they were so good.
Amazing.
We should do tacos before every event.
They should come to every show we do ever.
I'm going to work on that as much as possible.
They're the best. I am obsessed. Obsessed.
Obsessed for good reason here, folks.
They don't just have tacos. They've got, I could go on and on about this.
We will definitely talk about that a little bit later. And it does look like right now, we are waiting for the official word to make its way to our announcer, who I think is about to get on the microphone here.
Ladies and gentlemen, let these two competitors hear one more time. After consulting with all the judges, we have a referee's decision. Please give it up for Nick Ono!
Well, congratulations to Nick Ono. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to our second match. We thank you for tuning in. Let's go now to our match announcement.
Here we go with our next match of the evening. This jiu-jitsu match is featuring, please welcome, Nina Vo.
You know what was great about this? Getting to see the athletes come to check in. There's a little bit of nervousness. There's a little bit of anxiety. You know, you get here a little bit earlier than the event, and I got to see both Nina Vo and Kylie Stanley. And at first, they thought they were going first. And they had that nervous energy. They were both like, hey, I don't know if I want to go first. I go, we had a lady in 1 second, and it literally made them go, oh, I think this is good now.
Oh, my gosh.
I feel like nothing to worry about. I think you're just nervous to get out there.
It is hard being the first match out there. It is weird because you're like setting the stage, the energy's like everyone's tense and waiting.
And please welcome her opponent, Kylie Stanley.
But I will say, what always outweighs the nervousness of the anticipation of waiting is just the joy they get when you say, hey, listen, you're gonna go, you're gonna be second, and then you just see them light up because they go, all right, pressure's off, Now I can just go out there and perform. All I see is my ass. And I think to myself, I was like, hey, BJ, I go but if you want to go center, we're happy to hear that. We're happy to see what's going to happen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me hear you make some noise. Match number 2, brought to you by Soda Jerk.
Another jiu-jitsu match. We're not to combat yet, so we will have some combat jiu-jitsu matches later today. This is our regular jiu-jitsu.
Both that freaking pickle lick.
And you know what's weird is you don't see a lot of competitions where the music is playing as they're grappling. And I asked them if that did change things for them. And a lot of the athletes gave us feedback and said it actually made them feel more relaxed and more intense to what they were doing. It's like you're rolling at your gym.
I was going to say, we're so used to it in training, right? Yeah, it's interesting. Ooh, wow, that was a beautiful blast double. And Nina Vo was looking really strong on her takedown defense, her hand fighting. And then, man, Kylie Stanley was able to find that angle, find that level change, and just drive right through. She almost landed a mount here, but Nina Vo was able to recover. But now, wow, Kylie's really getting all over her with the front headlock style passing, and now she's coming to the back. She's under the chin.
Ooh, I think she's got this here.
You know what? Nina Vo actually popped her chin back under the forearm, so it's not as deep as I thought it was going to be, and she is still able to hold on at the moment. But Kylie Stanley is doing a great thing by squeezing tight here and extending and kind of arching in to Nina, and when you do that, man, it makes the submit. Wow. And back up to her feet,
I was about to say, that was incredible movement right there by Nina Vo.
I think it's very clear that Nina's a top player, right? We're seeing that even if you don't know her style too well. She looks pretty strong on her feet, and she is looking to be in the top position. She stood right back up after getting stuck there after that blast double. But really great defense here.
And, you know, some people just work well under pressure. It looked like Nina Vo coming alive just after a few seconds of being under duress. And for me, what I love about this is I almost feel like she's going to be solid at counter-punching. Like, her counter-grappling is something that I've noticed in the past with her matches.
Kylie, though, a couple of times here, we've seen her almost pick up some snatch singles, and here another double attempt. And there is a bit of a guillotine attack coming on from Nina, but Kylie rolling back over to the top. Really beautiful defense, and she comes right into a strong side control. Nina has the option now typically of either accepting side control or starting to expose her back, right? So she turns away, she exposes the back, but she gets herself off the back of the mat. But, you know, there's pros and cons to both. Because her defense is so swirly and so strong, I would say, I wouldn't be surprised if Nina does give her back because she obviously feels comfortable defending there.
And you notice that she's not making any erratic movements. She's taking her time because she already recognizes if she's going to be scrambly, it's a very dangerous thing to be. And now that she is back into half guard, if you're Taylor, the real answer here is just pressure and patience.
You know, it's interesting to watch Nina. She actually went to an answer the phone defense to an arm triangle before the arm triangle was even locked, maybe in anticipation. But I think that that made it really difficult for her to frame and get back to her guard. Although now, big mat return there from Kylie. Whoa. A lot of resilience, of course, from Nina Vo, and she's still in the game. Back on top here.
Well, they definitely got the Fight Club memo. So they're definitely bringing the Subversiv Fight Club brand, and we appreciate them for that.
It's not very common that you see, you know, high-level athletes move from feet to floor so many times in one match. Right? It's really impressive. Like, both of them have been scrambling back to top position and stand up, and now that was a beautiful snatch single there. She actually set it up with her foot. She stepped her foot behind Nina Vo so that she couldn't backstep off of that and then caught that leg in a snatch single. Really, really beautiful setup.
And I think what we're finding with Kylie, she has such good reads. An incredible amount of seeing that snatch single, an incredible amount for going for that blast double. Like, she understands her timing incredibly well. She's thinking about that arm. It might take a second because there is an underhook here, so that may prevent it slightly. But again, I think every time you see her just apply a little bit of pressure and just kind of wait her out, it does help her just a smidge, but you're looking at a lockdown being here, maybe to try to alleviate the pressure just ever so slightly. Oh,
Little no-gi
Yes.
Ezekiel from top half guard, I think.
Yes. The friendliest way to make a new friend, one might say.
We're having some extension on that lockdown from Nina. The nice thing about that is it keeps Kylie at bay just enough to not drop all of her shoulder pressure down on the face. But it can be very difficult to actually attack and sweep from here. Now that Kylie has an underhook with her right arm, she's in a much better spot, although, you know, she's switching to sort of a... She's not really choosing between pinning the shoulders and turning on her side. She kind of keeps going, switching back and forth between both.
I mean, I think she's just surveying the options so quickly. She was thinking about that arm. She moves into the transition, now looking for the arm bar. And this isn't necessarily a bad idea, but Vo already scrambling to get back up and now may have the opportunity to play up top.
Yeah, Vo bringing some heavy pressure back in, but maybe expose herself in the process, although now she's landed on top.
In north south, but for a split second she was about to timber there. She kept her balance, and now we get to see what she does offensively.
Yeah, it's the first time we've really seen Nina Vo in a very strong, dominant position, and she's looking, you know, very tight in her control of top position, keeping double underhooks. Oh no, now she switches off to the head, potentially looking at an arm and guillotine here. Or I can't quite see if she's grabbing her forearm. If she's gonna crank it, now's the time. The time is almost up, so gotta get that submission attempt in.
It's tough, but you know what? It's an interesting thing to leave with the judges, but you get the impression the number of takedowns, the number of just like control time was a little more in Kylie's favor, but man, a really good impression by Nina Vo to close out that match. All smiles. Probably thinks she can probably just keep going. At this point, she's like, nah, I got 2 or 3 more rounds if we want to keep doing this.
Raph, do you know what belts these ladies are?
You know, it does escape me at the moment. I don't know them offhand.
Let me see if the internet machine can tell me.
The internet machine has not been everybody's friend here in this particular location. So if you get it, I want to steal your cable provider.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let these two competitors hear it one more time. Your referee has made his decision. Your winner, Kylie Stanley.
No surprises here.
One more time for Nina Vo.
Kylie Stanley coming away with the win. Nina Vo put on a really great match. Both these ladies super exciting to watch, but at the end of the day, Kylie had, you know, what the refs considered more submission attempts and more dangerous submission attempts.
Making their way to the mats, let's hear it for Tyler Schaefer.
You know, it's when people choose the slower rap songs that I get a little nervous.
I was gonna say, does it make you scared of them? It probably should. I feel like they're maybe just a little crazy, you know?
It's 100% a
They're like, I don't need the hype. I'm just here. I got the hype already in my blood, and that's why I just come out to this slow song and don't care.
By the way, I love this jersey.
That's my vibe,
this jersey is
We've got a vibe. We've got some branding going on. Okay, we've got some personal branding happening.
And please welcome Tyler's opponent, Taylor Maldine.
Tyler Schaefer also has like a heart braided into her hair, which, considering I am the queen of hearts as far as personal branding goes, I am very happy to see this. This makes me feel very, very excited to see what Tyler can do.
Absolutely. And the crowd here feeling very excited for Tyler. And it looks like we're about to get straight into our next match. Thank you again for watching. We are very excited to have you, and lucky to have you, one might add.
Thank you.
Now you guys better listen closely because we got a Tyler versus a Taylor.
It's going to get rough.
So we're going to have to go into some last names here.
We will 100% apologize in advance if a Thai sound doesn't match.
Look, just watch the jiu-jitsu and you'll be all right. As long as you just keep watching the screen, we'll walk you through it.
Exactly.
Don't look away, though. There's no telling what'll happen. Man, these girls look pumped. I'm super excited about this match. Great energy. You can hear a lot of people here for them, cheering them on too. In Tyler Schaefer's corner is PJ Barch also. By the way, she's got a pretty star-studded coaching crew here with her.
Absolutely. Donna Gonzalez also right there too.
Yep.
Love to see them making the trek up from the San Diego.
Some foot sweep attacks here from Schaefer, and some big body lock attempts from Malden, though.
Congratulations to these ladies for being the first to bring fear into our audience's eyes.
That's my favorite part of Subversive.
It really is.
I want to keep you on your toes, okay? Told you, don't blink.
Absolutely not.
Really like the interchanges. Wow, look at that counter wrestling we're seeing here from these ladies.
Oh.
Those right to the back is Schaefer.
It is so difficult because you get so excited seeing that back, that opportunity, that it is very difficult sometimes to get those hooks in, but she does have a little bit of time. The refs are giving her some time to work, and she basically scoots her back away from that.
It's really tough on the edge of the mat there, because even sometimes it would be, if it would be the right movement, so to speak, technically, you can't go for it because you're going to leave the mat and you're going to reset the position. So, you know, she gave up a little bit of the position by scooting her back in, but she was able to maintain dominant position instead of going for something else and then potentially going off the mat and having to lose it altogether. The wrestling that was happening even before that, though, the exchanges were really high level between both Schaefer and Malden. We saw some really deep level changes. And now, of course, Schaefer in this front headlock style passing, she's about to punch that right arm through and potentially connect her hands through and have an arm in guillotine. This can be really effective in forcing the pass, because as the person goes to defend their neck, of course, they open up a little bit of the lower body.
Yes, even sometimes just that little bit of pressure is enough, but now there is a leg caught here.
That was almost a potentially tight straight ankle, but Schaefer was able to roll through, and now in on another leg lock is Malden. She has a tighter bite here, though. She's above the knee line, so we know that actually means that Schaefer is in trouble. You can see Schaefer trying to pull her heel back in. She's going to look to either come up onto her right knee, or she's got to escape her knee line by turning to the left and punching her foot down to the ground and kind of turning onto her left knee. So there's a couple attempts here, but you know it's deep because she's fighting the hands. When they're fighting the hands, that tells you a lot. Her heel just popped out. We see that. So you can see the transition is important with leg locks. Schaefer was originally fighting the hands. As soon as the heel popped out, she went back to trying to come up on her knee and fighting the body. So this is kind of the game you'll see leg lockers and passers play together.
And, you know, she's looking to try and triangle her legs. She just doesn't have the quiet extension here, but now she's in a much better place.
Once she brings that right knee to the ground and brings that foot out from underneath the back of Malden, now she's in a smash pass, right? So you're going to see her try to continue sprawling that right hip down if she can, but Malden's doing a great job recreating that space and re-extending. She's going to try to re-pluck that heel.
And she may have another opportunity to finish this up if she can lock this in. She's doing excellent adjustments here. Now, there's an underhook underneath the head that's maybe preventing a little bit of that detachment you need to go and spiral out. It's just taking a second to figure out who is able to make the slightest of adjustments. Now she's able to triangle the legs from up top. So that buys you a little bit of time, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're out of the woods yet in that position.
Yeah, one of the things happening here, too, is Schaefer has, because her legs are crossed, like you were saying, it kind of stalls the position out. But if she releases the lock, she's in a big risk, right? So it's very difficult for her to know where to go.
And it's weird because that grip where you're kind of like almost turning your palm the other way, it's not secure, but it holds it in place just long enough to maybe readjust. But that alone doesn't give you much confidence in that moment. It just kind of keeps you stuck together. So again, still attached here. Now, if she stands up, which she does, she's still right back in the thick of it. Now this time she's grabbing her foot with her hand, which again locks them into that place. I think the slight amount of distance that you are looking for to get in this position, you can only go so far when you're this attached to somebody.
What we're going to see now is Schaefer's going to try to come up to her left knee and rotate through, but there is a heel stuck. It's still in. Oh, wow. She's okay. Her knee line has been cleared now, so the heel is still inside. But because her knee line's been cleared, at least for a moment, she was out of danger. But it looks like Malden has regained the The upper knee control again. Wow.
Yep.
Malden is doing a great job. Malden in the black and the pink. She's doing such a great job of recapturing the knee line every single time Schaefer rotates through.
And the amount that you have to concentrate to continuously do that, because it's easy to maybe do it once and maybe you miss your shot. It gets exhausting the more that you aren't getting the position that you want. And she stayed so tied to it because she knows this is a good position for her if she makes some small adjustments. And she has not been able to make those adjustments to get the submission just yet. Ooh. You know, it is so funny. Whenever you get in these positions, you always think to yourself, if I grab this, this protects me. Different body types, though, also play a role in how loose or how strong you're able to contain it. And now, just thinking about just trying to take the leg home if she can. There is a bend, but now she might find herself in trouble.
I was going to say, she's on the reattacks now, right? Schaefer's on the reattacks, and we saw PJ Barch in her corner really shouting at that, right, to reattack the heel, because now we're coming down to the end of the match where the submission attempts are really, really important. Because remember, Schaefer had the early attack, but she's really been stuck in that leg lock position for the duration of the match after that. So at the end, the last 10 seconds there will make a big difference in the call.
Well, nonetheless, a very, very fun match between these two ladies. Credit to them. It looks like we're about to get our fight announcement right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give these two competitors one more round of applause. In a very competitive match, your referee has made his decision. Your winner, Taylor Maldine!
Absolutely. Taylor put in a lot of work to justify that
And let's hear
decision.
it one more time for Tyler Schaefer.
At the highest level of fighting, I need to fuel my body with the best. Whether I'm hitting pads, cutting weight, or stepping into the octagon, I need protein that delivers. FIDA utilizes an ancient grain which provides high quality protein with more glutamine than whey, meaning I can train harder and recover faster. Its unique blend has gut-friendly fiber which won't lead to bloating, so I never have to worry about my protein slowing me down. Unlike other proteins, which can be chalky or gritty, it quickly dissolves into any liquid. FIDA's smooth texture makes protein a treat, not a chore.
Please welcome Brandon Carrillo.
All I'm saying is this is one of the best walkout songs of the century.
I gotta say, Lil Mad Kendrick put out a new album today of all days, but I cannot listen to it. A little jealous, but I did make time. Quite a good album, but this, one of the GOATs.
You could pick any Kendrick song and walk out to it, and you could just randomly do like a roulette, and pick any of them and be good to go.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. On the new album, there was one song I told somebody, I was like, I think that's
Welcome his
walkout
opponent,
material.
Cody Davis.
You gotta show me. It might be my new one.
I will 100% give you the clue on what that one was for me. But next, coming out, Cody Davis, who is a gamer. I have always been an appreciator of what Cody Davis brings to the mats, and he is accompanied by Chad George and one half of our main event this evening in one Javier Garcia. So a very strong corner coming out to join Cody Davis here tonight.
I just noticed the song is very subversive coded. Fight Night.
Yes.
That was clever.
You know what? I'm a big fan of that.
I'm
I love
digging the
Brandon.
vibe. Yeah, I'm digging the vibe. Okay.
You know what it is? They understood the assignment.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise.
All right, action begins now.
Here we go. A little spicy, little jumpy. We're going to see some shots right here, ladies and gentlemen. Just be ready. We're going to see some wrestling. You can tell by the level changes. That's usually a good sign. We're going to see some takedowns, see some really quick level changes right in the beginning like this. You know, we see like the Spider-Man crouch for the guard pullers, but when you see the level changes, you know you're going to see some shots.
And you know, it just looks like Cody's chomping at the bit. Like,
Yeah.
he gets that sense of he's faking out these small little fake outs, these feints, if you would, and yet you get the impression of if he finds a slide through, I think he's going to be pretty tough to sprawl against.
A lot of times with someone like Cody, he will really feel out his opponent for a bit with those level changes because you start to learn your opponent's timing. You learn how fast they're level changing with you, where the openings are, and then you strike. So we kind of just saw an example of that. He did find his opportunity to come into the body lock, right? So he wasn't actually looking for the legs. He was shooting the timing and kind of feeling him out. And then when he found the body, he went for it. And now this time switches to a single, but the Kimura defense, but almost just opened up his back.
Yep.
Brandon might have just given up his back, and that Kimura, the trap roll.
It's the call the ambulance, but not for me meme coming to life. And
notice the right foot behind the knee really being used to guide the person's hips. That is such a nice tool, especially when you don't have full back control yet, right? He doesn't have the hooks in. It's in his like crab ride style where you're behind both legs, and you really use that top leg to maneuver your partner towards the ground so that they can almost go into a turtle rather than flipping over the top and coming to the right or coming over towards us, where he can start to put his shoulders onto the mat. You want to force them to turtle here.
And on the flip side, the anchor of the other leg, trying to make sure he can't make too much distance from him. It's been a continuous pummel fight, so you try to get that extension, but then you create that anchor so that you're basically just sticking yourself to the opponent and hoping that now we're back to a scramble, and here's that shot. And this time, no Kimura to reverse any of the position. Now it's just a pretty solid takedown here. The question is, can he capitalize on it?
Yeah, but he came straight into the double right there, right, and pinched both the knees together. But now, as I say that, back up to the feet and into a Gramby roll was Brandon. Yeah, beautiful Brandon to come. Beautiful Grammy by Brandon. Beautiful Brandon. Yeah.
You should be thanking you for that nickname, by the way.
Beautiful Brandon. That's your new nickname.
Absolutely.
Gotta love it, and I want credit. Wow, back in on another single. I told you, man. As soon as you see those level changes, Cody's on fire.
Absolutely. And Cody, that speed was there, but I gotta say, Brandon did stuff it very nicely. It's just the aftermath of how persistent you saw Cody not giving up on it that it kind of puts him in his position right now where it's not a pass, but it definitely is playing to the game that you get the impression Cody wanted to play here tonight. Another roll, doesn't quite get the extension here, almost into a little bit of a knee shield guard, but
yeah, Brandon does a great job of recovering consistently. So he is in a smash pass. We don't want to discount Cody's passing ability here, but Brandon consistently not only Grambies, but does a bunch of different inversions and roll throughs, and then he'll find a hook with either his top or his bottom leg on the leg to kind of create some extension. So now we're seeing Cody close a different distance. He's in a really traditional body lock here. But again, Brandon using his hips to elevate, grab over the top of the back, and create enough space to keep him in the game.
And if there's one thing you know about the good folks over at CMMA, it is pressure. So this is right where they want to be. They feel very much at home. It's similar to their MMA-based style. And now it just allows him some time. But the question is, can he contain Brandon? Brandon has been very good at getting up and now gets Cody back into a guard. But, man, Cody not letting up for a second. He sees the possibility of a back, but he might just lose it here at a stand-up. Hips him down, trying to drain him down with him.
Really interesting style of taking the back there from the clinch. He kind of dragged him to the floor instead of jumping or doing any sort of roll. Didn't get him knocked all the way down, but had a look at the back for a moment.
Yeah. I like to call those too excited peaks at the back, where you're like so close to it, you don't want to overplay it, but sometimes you find yourself flying just because you said, oh, right, I messed that up slightly. Now, I wonder, I was just about to ask if we were going to see a shot from Brandon, and they're basically playing pinball with the assistance of the rudders known as our refs. In case you were wondering why we have two, this is why.
Yeah. I love the visual of pinball, too. That's so perfect. It really is like that, especially with guys that are big and strong and spicy like this. You've got to have it.
For sure. And I mean, these aren't even the biggest boys on the card, so be prepared, everybody. Could get wild. Nice, good shot. Doesn't fully get the takedown, but he's still working toward it. He's going to drag him back to the center. The crowd comes alive.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, one of the things that I think Cody's doing super well is he's finding these takedowns into body locks. And we, like you said, with his style of heavy smash passing, that can be such a really good tool for those of you guys at home who are trying to figure out how to chain your takedowns and your passing together. If we're looking for the body, like body lock takedowns are so brilliant for this. And you can see that the pressure wearing down after the takedown into the body lock multiple times now has led him into a clear pass. So he's past the knees. And, you know, Brandon's still coming alive here on his side, really still framing, trying to come back to turtle. Might expose his head or his neck in the process. Another roll through. I told you about those, Raph.
Well done. You know, it's weird. You just get kind of into that reset position there. He's looking at, he was trying to attack the neck there, doesn't quite get it. You know, you get to that moment where you look like you're in a video game and you're glitching because you just can't move.
Yeah.
And it's a very rare position that you find yourself there, but both these gentlemen make it the distance. And I have to say, still pretty fun all the way through. Well done for both of them. All right, it looks like we are about to see the decision relayed to our announcer, and our thanks to our many, many sponsors who we'll thank here right after this announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these two competitors one more round of applause. Your referee has made his decision. Your winner, Cody Davis.
Through the pressure, the setting of the pace, the takedowns.
And let's hear it one more time for Brandon Carrillo.
Makes a lot of sense to see Cody come up on top.
Here we go. Welcome to the mat, Jasmine Thompson.
Jasmine Thompson making the walkout first. Again, thank you enough for watching us here at Subversiv Fight Club. This is our first installment of Subversiv Fight Club. And a lot of people want to know, what do you expect from Subversiv Fight Club? And our hope is always characters. And I think Jasmine Thompson understood what it meant to stand out as a character.
What character? Is she a sailor?
I think she's a sailor. It looked almost like a Popeye uniform as well.
We should have done this for Halloween.
I almost thought it was. I tripped out.
Well, I mean, like Subversiv, we should have a Halloween show and have everyone compete in there.
You know, I'm not against it. Open to all ideas here at Subversiv.
That's for sure.
Yes. Sometimes when you look at it and you go, what show was that? I think you know it's us.
Oh, yeah.
And we appreciate you guys for that. All right. We are about to get to business here. Iris Liu making her walkout as well. And the action will begin very shortly.
I have never seen that before.
All right, here we go. Jasmine Thompson in the sailor, I said that wrong, uniform. And Iris Liu sitting straight to guard in the black uniform.
Not to be outdone, Iris's rash guard is also pretty dope. All right, we're starting with a pass here, stuck in a little bit of half guard. We'll see how long we're hanging out here. It's very possible it won't be very long, but you do see Iris on the bottom trying to push through the knee, preventing it from complete pass. Wanted to wrestle up, but may settle for trying to take a leg here.
Yeah, I think it's very clear from the beginning Iris Liu is looking to attack the legs. I mean, of course, we've got Jasmine in on her own attacks, but Iris very, very tight now on this foot, straight ankle lock on the far side. She may go belly down.
Yeah.
She's got her left leg laced inside, which is really nice because that butterfly-like hook can help create a lot of extension. But we're seeing Jasmine try to come up here and relieve the pressure.
Wow. She does get out of it. And now trying to...
Another inversion here. Yeah, Iris Liu maybe looking at a knee bar or potentially, she's going to be looking to expose the heel here if she can bring her right leg inside. Or she might go for the finish without even bringing her right leg inside.
I think she's fairly close in this position. We'll see if she's able to lock it up entirely. The hard part here for Jasmine, she starts kind of doing that last minute kind of defense where you do get nervous that maybe she's just a half step behind. It's just a matter of can she continue to defend her legs, because these aren't bad positions, so they're actually going to get repositioned back to the center of the mats. And I got to tell you, that's not a place I necessarily want to be put back in if somebody is attacking my leg.
Leg locks are very difficult to reset, right, on the edge, especially
absolutely.
heel hooks that are in motion.
Yeah.
But, in this inside Aussie position, Iris has such a strong advantage. And you can see here she's attacking the top foot.
Yep.
And she has the heel. She has a strong bite on the heel here. Very strong bite.
Oh.
Girls are very hard to finish heel hooks on, though. Their feet are typically small, and they can, not everyone's, not mine, but a lot of girls' feet are very small, and they slip out of the crook of the heel very easily. They're very difficult to finish.
Did she just yawn at it? I couldn't tell what she was doing, but she took a moment to actually signpost.
Iris Liu?
I thought Iris, at least, I couldn't tell if she was like, as if the signal, I'm not worried about this. But could just be my impression here. Nonetheless, she's back on the re-attack here. Nicely done. And
she does such a great job, Iris, of keeping the right leg. You can see her foot hooked on the far thigh, and so that really keeps her locked into the hips. A lot of times we lock our feet here, but we don't attach ourselves to the thigh of the person. So then when they move, we lose them. But her feet are constantly monitoring that far hamstring.
Well, we're putting your theory to test here as to how bendy and difficult it might be to finish if you are a smaller female. But I have to tell you, I look at some of those positions and I was appreciating the transitions that Iris was doing with her hands. She went to a different grip, which was almost where you fold the arms in. That tends to be a stronger grip, and yet Jasmine was kind of eating it. So I don't know if that's building up any kind of residual force.
Well, one of the things that we saw from Jasmine also is she was eating it, but she was also using her outside unattacked leg to lace inside. So she was always looking for inside position with her non-attacked leg, which I think was her right leg. I'd have to see the position again. And that was helping her create just enough distance and separation in the hips to keep the leg lock from being at like full extension power. But we are seeing Iris now diving through with the guard. Her left knee is hitting the ground with that right shin inside is still blocking her a little bit from bringing that weight forward. But because she has the isolation of the top side arm, she's going to be able to smash that shoulder down. And now she's looking for an arm bar on the top.
It was a beautiful angle adjustment that now is leading her to a new possibility in attacking this arm. And I mean, it's a good start. But I think what we've seen from Jasmine throughout that match is she's been very, very good at getting out of some bad spots. And looking at this, she's staying on it. They transition here. This is a very good position for Jasmine for Iris Liu.
Jasmine stepping over here, though. She's able to stay out of danger just enough, even though Iris Liu had a pretty good look at rolling through and recentering herself. Now she might be in on a knee bar on this leg, or maybe, let's see.
Yeah, she definitely is trying to re-attack that, but what a great 1-2 punch there from Iris. Like, literally was chaining her attacks together so well. In fact, you almost got the sense maybe she figured, I don't care if you're going to get out of that because I'm going to go right back to attacking this leg.
Look at this knee bar here, Ralph. That's pretty tight.
That's good.
That knee bar is getting some extension. She's going belly down on it. But honestly, Jasmine doesn't look too bothered. If you see her face, she looks pretty relaxed even there. Oh, big guard pass from Iris. She's going to land right inside control. And then, of course, the back exposure is now coming as she follows the turtle defense. Potentially hard to say. That I was going to say it might be a little rushed on the back take since she's falling off, but I might have to take it back because she is already starting to come under the chin, so we'll see if it paid off.
Well, she's starting to flatten her out, but you're seeing Jasmine make a little bit of a turn on the inside, which sure can help, but it doesn't get you out of the woods because now you get readjustments by Iris Liu. Looking to trap that arm, and I do wonder how much time she's going to have left to work in this particular position.
Now again, chaining submissions like you mentioned before. You know, she's now chaining to the top side arm again, but we see, look at Jasmine's dexterity and ability to come right back over on top to her knees.
I mean, very big credit to Jasmine Thompson for getting out a lot of those attacks, but Iris Liu, very smart, very calculated into how she was chaining her stuff together, and very impressed with her work here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these two competitors one more round of applause. Your referee has made his decision. Your winner, Iris Liu. And let's hear it one more time for Jasmine Thompson.
I was born with one arm, that's no secret. Everybody can see that. I've faced adversity my whole life. There's nothing that I can't handle. I always take the hard way, and that's just how I live my life. I was kind of looking for an opportunity. I've been preparing, I've been training hard. I want to challenge myself at the end of the day. You know, I want to see if I am who I think I am. I want to get out there and test myself. I'm really looking for that aspect of it. It's not about anybody else, about beating somebody. It's about beating the doubts in my mind, and we'll see how that goes.
What's up, guys? We're here at Hustle BJJ, training hard, getting Chase ready for Subversiv. Chase been coming in, we've been doing a lot of speed drilling, grinding it out, a lot of wrestling, a lot of heavy top pressure, and I'm excited to see what he can do, man. He's been putting in work, he's dialed in, he lives that grind lifestyle, and I'm excited to see what he's gonna do November 22nd.
I mean, when I'm in the thick of things, I'm thinking like this. If I'm down, I'm thinking, okay, I've been here before and I could get out of this. I'm not gonna quit. When I'm up, I'm thinking, okay, how are we gonna find this finish? What am I gonna do to get to the next position and submission? Quit is never gonna cross my mind. So all I'm thinking about is, let's go. Whether you hate me or you love me, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going in there for me. I'm going in there for the people that support me. I'm going in there for my training partners, for my coaches, and all I'm trying to do is be able to look at them after and know that I gave my all and I made them proud. That's all I'm looking to do. I'm not trying to win fans. I'm not trying to do none of that. I don't care about any of that. I'm just gonna be me, and you can form your opinion of me, but it's not gonna mean anything to me at the end of the day. Noah Tillis has a lot of experience. He's been around a long time. And like I said, that's exactly what makes me excited about it. You know, like he's been a black belt, I think longer than I've even been training, which is even better because I feel like I'm gonna surprise a lot of people in how I approach this match and what I'm able to do. Look, man, I was born with one arm, that's no secret. Everybody can see that. I've faced adversity my whole life. People doubted me my whole life. People thought I couldn't do stuff my whole life. For me, it was all about perspective. I was never thinking, why me? I was always thinking, try me. There's nothing that I can't handle. Adversity is just part of life, at least my life. I've never had it easy. I don't look to have it easy. I never played the victim. I never looked for an easy way out. I always take the hard way, and that's just how I live my life. So I'm not worried about adversity. Adversity is something that comes up, and it's just a normal thing for me. Chase Your Dreams means a lot to me. Not only is it my name, my company, it's a lifestyle. It's about uplifting other people and inspiring other people to inspire other people to inspire other people, and that's our way of paying it forward. And if there's one thing that people are gonna get after this match, they're gonna know that I'm a dog. And I'm gonna go in there hard, and I'm not gonna stop until somebody gets finished.
Please welcome to the mats, Kenneth Klein.
Ladies and gents, allow me to tell you a story about Kenneth Klein. Yesterday, he shows up as a mild, Mattern gent, somebody who is super excited to be at the press conference, and he stole the show. And you're seeing him start to steal the show right now as he's already taken off the rash guard, letting people know He is all about this life. He finds inspiration in the Ultimate Warrior and much, much more that I think you'll see. He's got energy for days. Ladies and gentlemen, pull up a seat. You're going to enjoy watching him go to work.
And please welcome his opponent, Aries Loina.
And of course, if you are a fan of jiu-jitsu, you're likely not a stranger to Aries and his incredible game. You know, Kendall, I was just saying, obviously, Aries, always fun to watch. Yesterday at the press conference, Kenneth Klein stole the show. My man, that was a star.
Did he talk about his fish?
You know,
I got a lot of info from him today. I got to tell you about his fish thing. But did he talk about that? No?
No.
Well, I want to know what you learned because I missed the press conference.
You did.
He's a character.
He is definitely a character. Why don't we get straight to this match here in a second? But I will tell you, it entertained me completely. And I have to tell you, he was near and dear, but he pulls a very tough competitor in Aries. So let us see how this shakes down here today.
Yeah, this is a pretty tough one. I mean, we're super excited to see him on the show, but what a match to draw, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen Aries on a few of the Subversiv matches, and he's kind of all over the place. We always see the Rotolos both in his corner. They're both here tonight, Cade and Ty, and they do a great job coaching him. Obviously, they train together, and you can see a lot of their style, I feel, reflected in his jiu-jitsu. You know, a lot of darces, a lot of, you know, when he's passing, stepping on the shins, like that kind of Rotolo-style passing. And just overall really well-rounded. Like, he seems to be very dangerous from everywhere.
You know what's great is you look over at Kenny's background. He also has an MMA background to him. But if you're Aries, when you train with the Rotolos, you have that too.
Yeah.
So normally that pressure that would kind of make most people wilt, not necessarily something I'm concerned about for Aries in this match.
Yeah, you can see Aries is playing a pretty calculated game there, going between the arm and the leg, right? So oftentimes really good knee shield players here, and, you know, half guard players. Oh, as I say though, Kenneth enters the legs himself, and he does have almost had a bit of a bite on the heel there. Now switches it to the inside rather than the outside. But Aries does a great job stepping over, rotating through, and coming back on top.
He's got an electric chair, and he did say this is one of his favorite moves.
Wow.
And he uses it for a sweep, but I think he's trying to hold on to it just to see if maybe he can just belly down on it. It's very difficult to make that turn into almost a banana split there, but does not quite get it. Will settle for kind of working from this almost half guard position. But I mean, again, you get traces of when someone tells you their favorite move is an electric chair, believe them.
There's a lot going on there, and honestly, you got to question a lot when someone tells you that's their favorite move. But you also know they're going to be exciting. Now, okay, I really want to tell you about the fish thing, but there's so much jiu-jitsu happening that I really don't want to not call the action. But and as I say that, we saw Aries almost on an armbar there. Stepped over, and again, Kenneth now reaching back, right, attacking right into the heel. He has to be careful, though. Aries had a couple great defenses, but maybe he baits this.
He might be.
I think he's baiting the lockdown, right, if he's looking to go into electric chairs.
Well, it's difficult in that, you know, sometimes you may not see the most technical applied heel hook by Kenny, but what he makes up for in a lot is just he wants to send that heel hook. It's not just a let's kind of gradually pressure it. I'm looking, he's trying to load up that shotgun. And right now he's dealing underneath from bottom. And I think the difficult part of this particular position is this is very, very comfortable for Aries. Again, very, very good at kind of getting this electric chair. He's not quite there, but you can see the beginnings of it. The first part is usually getting that underhook, but now it's a little bit pinned. So you get the impression he goes right back to it. It's good at spreading it up, and at the very least, even if you don't catch it, it can sometimes be worked as a sweep. Aries feels it out, and now both of these gentlemen may be thinking about an opportunity for the leg attacks right back to standing up. And Kenny not wasting any time, wants to push into him. And let's just say that camera's not going to go anywhere, gentlemen. You will not be running into my property. Thank you.
So, okay, the fish thing.
Yeah.
Kenneth came over earlier today and wanted to tell me that he has a very unique diet where he blends up all sorts of fish, like sardines, herring, and he blends them up in his Ninja blender, okay? Not quite a Ninja Creamy-esque situation, but a blender nonetheless. And He then, with a little water, then he takes it like a shot and then has a chaser he follows it with and does shot, chaser, shot, chaser. He does this every day for the last 2 or 3 years. He says that the way that he recovers and his ability, like his athleticism, the way that he feels he performs on the mat is completely unmatched. That all the nutrients that you could ever want, it's like the nature's best multivitamin, but you'd never get enough of those just eating them on a regular basis, and you can't get them from supplements, so you gotta blend up the fish and drink it every day.
I'm going to be
Blended
honest.
sardines.
I'm going to take his word for it.
If he wins this match, I might give it a try.
You know,
I know I just said that on recorded line. I might regret that later. But I might make that a thing. If he wins this match, I might have to.
I tend to like my fish in sushi form.
Yeah.
And baked if it is in the salmon region. But I can tell you this. I mean, he definitely looks great. And I will tell you this. A slight slip up in this occasional match here and there can be very costly, because that grip, if it gets replicated, it is tough to mitigate. They are starting them back with this kind of front headlock position. And you get the impression if Aries gets his way, he's going to be looking to try and finish here. Easier said than done. He does use it to come up on top.
But again, right back into
to
this
the
electric chair setup. And I think that's really interesting with someone like Kenneth. He can go for heel hooks, but he's not really worried about the effectiveness of the technique because he really wants to be here.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes, you know, I use this technique a bit, and it can be a surprise. I just feel like it's going to be hard to catch Aries by surprise for that particular move, but it can be used as an effective sweep. I'm 100% behind that. I mean, you are seeing Kenny's, his corner come alive. Larry Stroud and Tyler Bernacki, who are both competing here tonight. I mean, very, very clearly screaming at him and letting him know he only has 1 minute to work. So you're seeing our referees push him back in. Aries goes for a guard pull, tries to elevate it, does for a split second. Now maybe opting. They're letting him know he's got 30 seconds to work.
Yeah, it's funny. Both of these corners are really lit up right now. We got the Rotolos, and then, like you said, Larry Stroud on the other side, and they're really, really pumped here. And you see the Rotolos telling Aries to actually stand up, and that was a risky frame on the shoulder because it opened up the back. But look, he rolls right through.
Yeah.
And both of these guys are really great at transitioning into submissions out of what seem to be bad positions for them, right? And that is a really, really important skill to be able to do.
Well,
it looked like they were counting down the time, and they got the time wrong.
Okay, they're slightly
the
off
10
on the time. It
seconds.
could have been maybe they allowed for a few seconds of readjustment, but it's like going to New York City and counting down the ball and saying, whoops, we had more time. It's not a new year yet, but the match does finish. Hands are raised, and you know, the audience is happy about it, and we'll see exactly how this plays out. But you know what? I can tell you this, though. The Rotolos are smiling pretty profusely.
Honestly, look, to me, there's no telling what the heck's going to happen with the armors. I would not be. I am like kind of drawing a blank at this point. I feel like that was such a weird series of events, and there were so many threats that could be perceived as different levels of seriousness.
Yeah.
Because what looks extreme to one person, especially with some of those awkward submissions.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what the refs call that as.
Let's find out what they say.
Let's give these two competitors one more round of applause. Your referee has made his decision. He's your winner, Kenneth Klein.
The win for Kenneth.
You know what? It's the aggression. It's the going out there. It's
And let's
definitely a
hear it
good
one more
match.
time
The
for
electric chair king
Aries
is what it is.
Boyna.
You know, it's several electric chairs there. And Kenny goes over to greet the esteemed Ty.
Oh no.
and Cade.
Oh no. The fish. I did say.
Oh,
I
you
did
did?
say if he
Oh, my
won, I might consider the new fish recipe. I'm gonna have to look into
You gotta
this.
make fun.
Woo.
It's concerning, but it's also one that makes me think maybe it works. Who knows?
Maybe
Who knows?
it works.
Maybe in 2025 we see you blow up because of this. I don't know. But so proud of our good friend Kenny for getting an impressive win here tonight. And I got to tell you, that was a fun match.
Please welcome Phoebe Queen Cobra, Connie.
This young lady, Phoebe Connie, the Queen Cobra, she came up to us before the match and she was saying, look, I want to make sure my name's called in there because no one's ever done it before. This is mine. I want to claim it. And I was like, okay. And she got this fuzzy sweater on. She had such a little vibe going. Oh, she has it on again.
She's got it on. And if you're bringing that to an event, you're wearing that. Like, I get it. I'm behind it. And, you know, she's got the Macho Man rash guard. She's letting us know she is that cream of the crop.
And a mullet.
And a
We've
mullet
also got a mullet
to boot.
There's quite a statement happening. I'm not sure exactly what the statement is yet, but it is a statement, and I'm excited to see what it turns into.
Hey,
we've got some dance moves. We got a vibe. What a vibe! This is Subversiv vibe for sure, for sure.
And please welcome her opponent, Alexa Larson.
And you know, there's a big stark contrast in the walkouts here. You had personality, energy, and then you have dialed in.
I'm just here to kill you vibes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to me, I like when that happens, when you get one of each.
Now again, we're not into our combat jiu-jitsu matches yet, so we are in a regular no-gi jiu-jitsu match, no striking, 6 minutes, and it's gonna get spicy. Every match here has been amazing energy. Super impressed with these athletes. Someone in the crowd yelled, put the coat back on. Oh, right into an underhook here. Queen Cobra. Not looking uncomfortable, though. Alexa looks really strong in the wizard, but as I say that, she's a little bit of a... I actually didn't see the finish on the takedown there from the underhook from Queen Cobra.
All combat jiu-jitsu participants to go into match.
Wow. Really great head control here from Phoebe. She does a great job moving between the head and the body to continue to expose danger on the passing. But we're seeing Alexa now start to come up, maybe potentially trying to get back to her feet, but that is always a risk, right? Because we expose our head in the process. Just a really great job, though, of chaining this movement together, just enough to always stay out of danger. Now potentially on a knee bar here on the backside. Yeah, Alexa really is chasing this leg, but she's lost the bite of the thigh. Almost used it to sweep, but does use it to get back up, and she's back in the same whizzer as what we saw in the beginning. Phoebe had this underhook, Alexa with the whizzer, but it was Phoebe that was finished on top here. We're seeing a bit of a better position from Alexa on this time, but with her head position being off to the side, it puts her in an off-balancing position.
Oh, see, you know what the worst part is? You go for something that's a little risky in that position, and now she is under duress. That choke is in deep. She is fighting it. She does tap right there. Well done.
Wow. Rear naked choke finish. Wow, something's happening on the floor as well. Rear naked choke finish there from Phoebe Connie, the Queen Cobra. She jumped on that rear naked choke through a scramble off of Alexa's failed throw. Really great timing.
Ladies and gentlemen, she is your winner by rear naked choke. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Queen Cobra, Phoebe Connie. And let's hear it one more time for Alexa Larson.
Hold on, I'd like to take a second here to get a quick interview with your winner, Phoebe. Phoebe, get on over here. Listen, You walked out in the flyest coat possible. What made you bring that coat out here to Subversiv? Let's move back just slightly.
I didn't have time to slay a goat on the way, so my mom was like, you know what? I'll get you a goat coat at Macy's. And we had time for that.
Talk to me about that finish. It was incredible. You saw an opportunity. You literally jumped on it. Talk to me about that finish.
It wasn't the finish I was wanting. Definitely wanted to finish with an oil check. But she was really good at defending that. So her neck was wide open. And whenever I see something available, I bite on it.
Well, you know what? There's always next time, and we hope to see you back at Subversiv. What an impressive way to finish here. Shout out your sponsors or your team right here. This is all you.
10 Planet HQ, all at 10 Planet. Heck, every 10 Planet I've been at, they help me come up. Everybody believes in me. Thank you to all my family and friends. Those who sponsor me the most. Thank you.
Well, congratulations to you. Way to get it done out here. Go enjoy your night and get that coat. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Phoebe, wake up!
If I had to describe Patriot Empowerment Institute in one word, it would be prevention. With the veteran suicide epidemic growing in staggering numbers, we are attempting to prevent suicide, veteran suicides. So I definitely see a void in the transition programs, and definitely feel that Patriot Empowerment Institute is helping bridge those long-term transition plans. Thank you for taking the time to learning more about Patriot Empowerment Institute, and we hope you can contribute to our continued success.
Please welcome to the mat, Willis Nunes.
Willis Nunez giving a nice little salute to the crowd, acknowledging, but the beats are still on. This is very unusual. So you have a walkout song, but then you've also got the song that's playing in your ears. Is it the same song, or are you coming out with a different song?
And please welcome his opponent, David Guzman.
David Guzman yesterday won most relaxed at the press conference for Subversiv Fight Club, and he was so chill. At first, I almost wasn't even sure he was on the card. He was just chilling at the back corner of the pizza place where we did the press conference, and it took me a second to be like, oh no, you're part of the card, brother. Where have you been?
You think he's unbothered, or do you think he's secretly nervous?
I just think he's chill. He's just one of those guys who, even when we did the press conference, kind of sat back away from the mic, which, no, children, no. Always step up closer to the mic unless someone tells you to back up. But speaking of which, let's get to this very, very eagerly anticipated match between these two gentlemen.
Wow.
Shoot.
Lightning fast. Double to a single to a back to the feet. I love it.
They might also be too fast for our referees. A little nervous and jumping. Guillotine with a finger wag. Shades of Matumbo. Shout out.
And it's like, guy's like a flying squirrel.
Ooh.
Look at him. Woo!
Now we're back to a little bit more of the slower pace, which still is not slow. Looks for that little bit of a crunch. Doesn't get it. Now looks for maybe some half guard, maybe using some frames here, but good Lord, these young men are fast.
I like that David returned the spiciness and the speed, but then Willis actually used it to his own advantage. He was like, oh, you're going to come play my game? I'm faster here, I promise.
Some people really enjoy it when you play their game. It makes it seem like you might throw them off. Not the case here.
Wow, big cartwheel. One thing you'll notice about Willis that I'm seeing as the match goes on is he's very creative with his positioning in that, yes, he's very like acrobative and he's explosive, but he's not just looking for one thing in particular, a little ankle pick sweep there. Such a nice way to sweep people from this seated guard here when they're standing and not, engaging too heavily. Really nice way to throw them off their balance and either knock them down fully or get them to re-engage and come back closer. Maybe if they sprawl back, you can attack their head.
And for one thing, and I'm sure you can relate to this, for Guzman, he grew up in a family with martial arts, and for him, he was wondering, like, it came as something that's already within the family business, but he found a love for it for himself, and he was like, nah, it wasn't even pressured. He is trying to look into securing this leg, but the fast speed in which this can change.
What an awkward position there. Willis actually had a tight bite on the heel, but he didn't have any leg or hip control.
Oh my goodness.
All I'm saying is that could have gone very wrong. He was like 2 inches away from stomping and landing on David's head, but he landed right next to his head instead in a full tuck, like a full 2 feet planted together.
Nobody informed Willis Nunez that the Olympics already happened, as he may be in on a bite. There is a reaction here from Guzman. He may be in trouble. He just get the tap. Well done on that one. Wow. You get over here on this. Guzman is getting back up to his feet. I hope he is good, but there's some acrobatics which I think may merit getting an interview. I'm not quite sure.
Honestly, I think good luck.
Well, you know what? I think we have questions. We'll see what happens
We
here.
enjoy it. Oh, and we're going skins for skins also. Having a little face-off. There's a lot going on here tonight. Raf's going to get in and get us some more answers. Oh, my God. Ooh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give these two competitors one more round of applause. This bout comes to an end at 2 minutes and 33 seconds. He is your winner by submission victory due to a heel hook. Let's hear it for Willie Nunez. And let's hear it one more time for David Guzman.
Come on over. Ladies and gentlemen, an impressive match. Perhaps better gymnastics, though. Where does this come from? Where does all of this endless energy come from?
I train every day, This is my game. I might focus in the world in 3 weeks. I'm training hard every day. I'm in the best of the world. Let's go. Go the next one. Thank you so much for my sponsor, Boris, helping me stay here and helping me in my training. So thank you very much, everybody. So I'm gonna go for the next one. Let's go.
Well, we're excited to have you here. You always provide great energy, sir. Congratulations to you. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Willis Nunez!
Welcome to the mat, Jared Vanderay.
Jared Bandera, an MMA fighter, an incredible person to get to know. Yesterday, another interesting moment at the press conference. Takes out some of our Soda Jerk, our sponsor, which, by the way, shout out and thank you so much for sponsoring us here. And he was enjoying himself, and he was telling us he was trying to downplay his looks. He said that he was going to break the camera if he looked directly into it. And I said, young man, you're a good-looking young dude. Don't say that about yourself. And he goes, no, it's true. I'll break it. And I go, no, that's not true.
Did he mean like he was going to throw a temper tantrum? And
No. But you know what? Unfortunately, that would be the one time I would become violent if you try to attack the cameras. But, he's very, look at this. He is walking at the speed of a horror villain. I have seen Mike Myers chase people faster than this in horror movies.
We've got our first, death metal walkout as well.
Absolutely.
Gotta love it. There's always a couple.
Oh.
Oh, he's going shirtless as well.
Ah.
And please welcome his opponent, Marty Gonzalez.
Not to be outdone here, Marty Gonzalez bringing in a very, very impactful crowd, and we should know they are right next to us. So we'll be listening to our commentary very deeply, but Marty Gonzalez, always a gamer. Super stoked to have us joining him, and also glad to have him joining us is actually his opponent, Jared Bandera, who was telling us he needs this to get ready for his next MMA match, which happens in December. So excited to have a dance partner. He was just a little disappointed he couldn't find anybody to slap him in the face. But I will tell you, without slaps, this still promises to be a very intense match.
Yeah, you can feel the energy between these guys for sure. Really intense in here. I think the ref was making a little bit of a joke about the size.
Yeah.
Like, please stay in the center of the mat. I don't know if I can control you.
I am this tall.
Yeah.
You both are this tall. Please don't.
So you said Marty in the rash guard, he has an MMA fight coming up, so that's why he wanted to, prepare.
Look, that's Jared, so that's without the rash guard.
Oh, sorry.
No, not a problem. Ooh! And a nice takedown here by Marty Gonzalez.
What a double.
And it looked like Jared was trying to switch out of it, doesn't quite get enough energy or space to do so. And I'm seeing more and more people in the crowd take out their cameras to get a recording of this one. So eyes definitely on this match. And returning back now, if you're looking at this, the legs bunched up. Marty getting a little bit of a post to the top of the forehead. Jared's going to think about using this as a headlock opportunity. Does sweep off of it. Now is getting an opportunity to maybe work for a guillotine. Marty not fazed by it as that front row fearing for their lives. And yes, miss, I do believe you are making the right choice to try and get out of there. The referees are going to stop it, even though it did look like Marty Gonzalez was trying to go for a single leg or at least get some momentum to push him out. And now the group project bringing him back to the center of the mats. And we can let you know that woman in the front row is safe, at least for now. Oh, for a split second, Jared thought about going to attack. That guillotine choke does not have it anymore. Now they go back to seeing who may secure another takedown in this position. If you're looking at that, Marty had an excellent start to this match.
Yeah, we're watching a little bit of the hand fight here. We're seeing Marty does a really great job at regaining inside position after it's been lost. So he's always fighting his hand into the inside of the elbow, and then he finds the leg, and a little bit of an Uchimata attempt there from Jared as well. Comes up with the underhook. Almost looked like there would be a mirror lock attempt there from Marty, but not quite tight enough.
Sometimes you got to throw up what you can. Even if it doesn't take them down, it does take away a little bit of their energy.
Wow.
Now a nice little trip here by Jared Bandera. They're going to reset them back in the middle of the mats. The momentum shifting, not sure just yet, but Marty kind of looking not a little dejected, but just a little bit like, man, I'm on bottom. I got to accept this right now.
Yeah, it's funny. Both these guys have a lot of people in the crowd. You can hear the energy is pretty nuts. But it's interesting, we haven't seen a lot of close guard tonight, and it's something that, because there's such a submission-heavy, electric, exciting, takedown-oriented game that we typically see as Subversiv, we don't always find ourselves here. But this is a position that Marty's looking very strong and comfortable with. He's tried to bring the arms up to the shoulder and really isolate them, potentially maybe climbing his guard higher, but now looking to wrestle up. In the process, though, he's exposing his head, and he's getting knocked back down with that guillotine, but Jared's grip comes loose. Marty is here on top. He's got to be careful with that left arm.
And you were so right to point that out, because sometimes you use that as an opportunity to set up very funky guards, very 10th Planet-esque guards, and sometimes, even just sometimes using that as an extra opportunity to sweep that did not necessarily happen there, but you do see that sometimes under duress, you're really looking for any little inch that'll help you move another fellow big boy just away, because it is difficult to get a sweep sometimes in this position. A little bit of a standstill Jared may be looking to posture and get back up himself, but Marty is welcoming it because it invites a scramble, trips up just ever so slightly. They go back to the center of the mats. And I realize now we may need to have a code word in case they come near us, Kendall, so I think the code word is going to be leave in case they come for the commentary desk.
You can feel the energy slowing down a little bit with these guys, but there's still a lot of aggression coming forward. It's just the movement has slowed down just a little bit. But again, you know, I was mentioning earlier that Marty has the great job of continuing to find inside position. And it's not like they're really trading inside position back and forth now. And I think that really shows the fatigue on the match. Instead of one person insisting, they're trading back and forth, and it doesn't really allow a whole lot to get moving as far as major moves and takedowns. But as I say that, Marty in on a single and then countered by that nice guillotine forces him to retreat. That's one of the things about the guillotine is, of course, it can threaten the neck, but it can also just lead you to drop the shot that you've got and then kind of reset, so it could be enough of a threat to stop their offense.
And I think the referee's letting them know that we may be telling them that we're enforcing a bit of a get-down rule here, perhaps because there was not enough action on the feet. Could have been a stalling call that was happening there. So, you know, referees trying to give them some opportunities. If this was combat jiu-jitsu, it would be a little bit more of an intense position to be in with that top and bottom. Guard here.
Triangle attempt there from Jared.
Oh, and just the slip-up positionings back and forth.
Look at Jared's mobility, though, able to just turn back and face Marty. And really now, you know, you can see him setting up a Darce. He has his right arm underneath the armpit and reaching to the back of the arm. Sorry, back of the head. Marty's really working his way back up for a second there on the double on the edge of the mat. But
that guillotine,
Jared
and he does
gets
get the tap.
Wow.
Well done. It took him a minute, and you see the effects of that match taking its toll on Marty, but Marty gave us a good 5 minutes of an incredible match there, so props to him. No real loser in this one. And, you know, I'll see if I talk to Jared Bandera here. Let's see what he had to say.
One more round of applause. In a very competitive match, this match comes to an end at 4 minutes and 42 seconds of the 4 minutes and 42 seconds. He is your winner by a tap-out victory due to a guillotine choke. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Jared Bandera. And let's hear it one more time for Marty Gonzalez.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if I can bring our winner of our match, Jared Bandera, on over. Come on this way, sir. I notice you have something in your hands. What are you drinking here tonight?
You know, a little soda, some soda jerk. Tastes yum. So, you want to try some? Go over there in the corner. Get white girl wasted, but, you know, call you Uber. Be smart and safe.
Well, you know, you weren't smart and safe tonight. You were definitely high on the finish rate, sir. That was impactful. That was incredible to watch. Talk to me about the finish. Talk to me about that guillotine. You really wanted it, and you were able to get it.
Like I told you guys yesterday, we cuddling up in here. We were making eye contact, and I like to get a little kinky and choke somebody. That's it.
That is definitely it. Well, you got a fight coming up. Tell the people where they can see you next, sir.
My next fight is Unified in Canada, UFC Fight Pass. Hopefully this is the last fight and I'm back into the big show.
My man, congratulations to you on a hard-earned victory tonight. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, round of applause for Jared Bandera.
What is Soda Jerk Shot? Good question. Thanks for asking. It's David, and it's my new favorite drink. I can't decide which flavor I like better, though. They have root beer and orange cream. Both are delish and fantastic. Their slogan, pour, shoot, repeat. I drink it straight. You do not need a chaser with this. You can shoot it, too. Again, no chaser. Or mix it with whatever flavor you like. 70 proof. Yeah, 70 proof. Find out where you can buy it, sodajerk.com. Just be a jerk responsibly.
Welcome to the mats, Jamel Johnson.
All right, guys, we've got Jamel Johnson and Jefferson Batista coming out here. This is match 10 on our card tonight, 10-17. And first up out is Jamel Johnson walking out as we speak.
Well, we talked about the slow song entrance. This is a ballad. It's almost a little bit of a tearjerker that makes people get their way on out to the mats. And we got to clear the way because too many people want to get that soda jerk from our pal, Jared Bandera. He wanted to create a party. But, you know, we got the opportunity to talk to both of these gentlemen at the press conference. But yesterday, Jamel Johnson, a military man, somebody who's promised us a very, very good show of hands. And I'm not sure, I mean, Kendall, you've been on top of this all night. You've been promising the people combat jiu-jitsu, and it's here. It's time for us to see our first combat jiu-jitsu match.
So Jamel actually came and talked to me earlier today because he said, man, the last time you commentated.
His opponent, Jefferson Batista.
Here we go, Jefferson Batista coming out. So Jamel was telling me last time you commentated my match, you were saying that my style was really flowy. And he was like, ah, man, maybe I need to be more aggressive. And then we were saying, like, look, flowy's not always a bad thing, but when it comes to combat jiu-jitsu, sometimes we got to crank it up a notch, right? So anyway, I think we had a good combo about how you can kind of play with both styles of jiu-jitsu, but you just got to know when to pull one out and when to, you know, put the other one away. So I think we're going to see some really great jiu-jitsu from Jamel Johnson tonight. He's looking very confident. Jefferson Batista comes out, makes his way as well, looking nice and spicy. Oh, and we're doing some pike cheerleading jumps.
A little bit of a hint. Jefferson Batista was telling us, you may think he's a big boy, but he does big movements. We're talking flying. I think the exact quotation was, fly first, ask questions later.
Really?
So there might be some cartwheels, there might be some jumping attacks. I think what you should know from both these gentlemen is Jamel Johnson is promising to put pause on Jefferson, and Jefferson is promising to give you your money's worth for movement. And you know, it's weird because sometimes you go into like this state when you're in jiu-jitsu and it feels like that's probably where Jamel is. Even though it's combat jiu-jitsu, to him, it's kind of like another day at the office, but it's a takedown for Jefferson Batista here. And oh, they now realize
strikes
slaps
are in
are
play.
there.
Yeah, as soon as one opponent's grounded, slaps are in play. That's a nice double leg, but we might see a triangle attempt here.
Yep.
Jamel Johnson has, if he can pop his right foot out, he'll be looking to lock a triangle, but right now his right foot's stuck in that butterfly.
You know, it's tricky to get out here, but you can loosen it up with some strikes, and it's tough because that just might have given the, oh yeah, I mean, you can hit when you are in guard. That is essentially there, and you're seeing the first few strikes come in the way of Jefferson Batista, who may utilize this to pass if he gets the opportunity, but instead opting for pressure first, perhaps slaps later.
I think one of the keys here for Jefferson is if he hopes to avoid those slaps and also negate the power that they're bringing, he's got to stay really connected with the pressure. Anytime he backs out, it feels like it relieves the pressure for a moment, but then because he comes back in that midway point, he's getting striked again. So you want to either be really close or really far. So if you keep that really strong pressure, and he's doing a great job making that adjustment, staying really tight and nice and heavy. But see, again, that mid-range is where you're going to get popped.
Yep. And the hard part here is the minute you stand up, you really can't strike anymore. So as a result, you kind of get these last shots in, and it looked like they were almost going to stand right back up. But now, you're looking at this and wondering, for Jefferson Batista, these passes have been pretty close, but a couple little choice moments by Jamel Johnson allowed him to get those slaps that prevented the pass, and now just an excellent secure into the side control by Jefferson Batista, who can concentrate on working to get this Darce here, and he's locking it up pretty nicely. I'm not sure exactly how tight he has it. He opts to go to try to chase the back, doesn't get it, and this is where I think things are very interesting for Jamel Johnson. He has an excellent re-guard ability, so you really want to try to shut that down as much as possible with somebody, even if they have the ability to slap back. If you can contain them, this is a very good place to be if you are in combat jiu-jitsu. Now pinning the leg, opting to maybe almost go to what looked like for a split second a cradle, allowing Jamel to get back up, and that's probably something you don't want to necessarily do it.
Interesting approach to be striking from the bottom. He did look like, whoa, we see some striking back there from Jefferson, and that allowed him.
That'll get you a pass sometimes.
Yeah, I think when you see the striking from the top like that and your opponent lays flat, it takes them from a seated guard to a supine, but they drop their legs because they're not really entering any sort of guard, and the pass is right there, and now it's kind of turning into an avalanche where Jefferson's been able to get to full mount.
And you know what's interesting? You're looking over at Jefferson Batista, who's now very happy with this head and arm choke. He's trying to set up here, but almost maybe was attacking the arm there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's looking for the head and arm choke or maybe a smother, because for the head and arm choke, he's quite a bit high and not under the chin, right, where you would want to be to really get connected to the carotid arteries. But Jamel, with some big extension, he has to be careful with his arms, but a lot of times you'll see people risk their arm by driving up like that in the armpit, because they feel like they can lift the hips enough, maybe bring their feet in front, like he might be trying to lock his feet in front of the belly, or give the back by rotating through.
Speaking of giving in the back right here, he's now basically getting to flatten him out, but you see Jamel on the bottom turning, and this is a very not fun zone, because if Jefferson so wishes to unload some slaps, this is a great place for him to do so. And you're seeing underneath, Jamel's trying to throw a few paws from underneath.
Wow.
Again, trying to contain this arm. Even if it's not a smother, I mean, he's definitely utilizing this very strong position that just maintains the control for him. And maybe that might be it, because if you can wrap up that arm, that does give you an opportunity to hit it uncontested. But yeah, he's trying to get underneath. It's just easier said than done against that very, very posted up Jamel Johnson. This might be kind of where we're in the middle of the match. You know, now that's a much more successful opportunity to go to that head and arm. He's kind of sinking it up a little bit more, and we'll see if he's able to finish from mount. Jamel is turning.
It's hard to finish here because, again, Jefferson is so far over the head. He may get the smother. I'm not saying you can't finish here, but it's not quite a blood choke where you're on the carotid arteries on both sides, because he's bringing the arm over the head, and then he's bringing his chest over the face. Even here, he may get it, but you can see Jamel still has quite a bit of movement. He's not really freaking out or trying to answer the phone yet, because it's very uncomfortable, but it's not going to shut the blood off, right? So he may roll all the way over to his knees if he can.
And sometimes this gives you the opportunity to take the back, but looks like he's going to go right back on over to mount. And
It's one of the things with the arm triangle. There's a lot to be said for taking your time and slowing down and really getting the shoulder under the chin before you go for the finish. But if it's combat jiu-jitsu, you could also just posture up and strike. So there's that too.
Well, we should also remind people that we are executing some new rules here. So we don't go into overtime that people may be used to. We're actually going to a striking-based overtime where there may be no submissions being utilized here, and that's going to be an interesting dynamic to see. You know, we here at Subversiv Fight Club, we want to give the fighters an opportunity to not let overtime be that factor that saves you. So in this particular rule set that we potentially could see here, you may see these gentlemen throw more strikes than this, and I have to say it's kind of smart for Jefferson to realize he's winning the positional battle, but that you may want to give some damage to your opponent so that overtime, maybe just a little bit easier. I mean, definitely unloading here. It's possible to get a finish via slaps if Jamel doesn't respond back, but Jamel just throws up a couple of these strikes back up on him, and now the referees are making sure to contain him, and I'm hoping that some of these kids don't take any of these strays that are happening.
You know, for a second there, it was hard to say if any of those shots were connecting because Jamel's hands were up and they had enough involvement, but I think some of those last ones really did connect pretty hard.
I think you're right. Well, I think we're about to see the first implementation of the
new overtime,
Subversiv Fight Club overtime. So very interested to see how this one plays out. Both these gentlemen back up on their feet, and we'll see if it kind of locks in where this is where we start. Now, just to keep in mind, part of the submission overtime is the fact that there is going to be an implementation of a shot clock. So they have like 10 seconds to make an effort to try and get a takedown here, and if they don't get a takedown, we then go into a get down rule. So you're seeing all the referees kind of conferring together, kind of getting their information and gathering it as we prepare for the next portion of this match. Wait. Now seeing this take place, and we didn't need a shot clock. Shot clock be damned. These gentlemen are just going straight into the overtime procedures where now slaps are going to be allowed now that they are on the ground. So from here, you are seeing this play out very similar to how their match went on. You're seeing an aggressive re-guard here by Jamel, but Jefferson does look like he is past the legs, but the knees are trying to come up to prevent and save Jamel Johnson, but nothing doing now. Firmly in place, side control. Jefferson Batista going right back to mount and probably going to start unloading here because submissions do not necessarily work. So yeah, this could be a finish here if he does not get any kind of movement. Jamel working for any kind of fight back here to show because the referees will stop it if he is taking too much damage.
One of the things with Jamel is that I think he has a better chance staying in the mounted position because, oh, you know what? I think Jefferson's going for a submission. There may take some time to adjust to this new rule set. We're going to check in with our referees after this match, of course. Well, but it looks like time's about to expire.
You know, the weird part is you can use the position for control. It's
can't
just
finish.
Not necessarily a finish, and we did see him not necessarily finish during regulation, so maybe he recognized, maybe I'm not going to finish him here, but I will have control of his movements, and a very interesting dynamic. So now the referees are going to look at the entire match and determine who was more aggressive, who was more in control, and I do feel like we very well may see a person who was more in the mount position take home the win, but let's now get that decision from our analysis.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, going into an overtime in a great match. Let's hear it one more time for these two fighters. Your referee in charge has made the decision. He is your winner in overtime, Jefferson Batista. And let's hear it again for Jamel Johnson. to the mats, Anthony Paredes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we return back to the action here, and it does look like Anthony Paredes is making his way on out. And, you know, this is always an incredible, fun event, and you start looking at opponents, you start looking at people making their way on out, and Anthony I've seen warming up and getting excited for this.
Felipe Macatuno.
Felipe walking out right now, super chill. I ran into him a little bit earlier in the evening. You know, he was very concerned about his placement. He was like, where am I on the card? And I wasn't sure if he had feedback on it, because sometimes athletes have feedback. And I go, I think you're 11th. And he goes, oh, that's a good number. I like that. Okay, good. And then left, and I go, it sounds great. Super excited to see you in a minute, sir. So
Maybe he's an Angels number guy.
it could be.
You know about the numbers, 11, 11?
Absolutely.
1,
I think he was more concerned of like, do I start the day or do I go mid? And I said, you're right around the middle. So just to let you guys know, you're just about in the middle of the action. We have so much more, including some combat jiu-jitsu matches. But we start off right now with Felipe and Anthony.
Oh, wow, I've got to watch that left arm right here.
Yeah.
Strong passing position, but it can turn dangerously into an armbar quickly. But instead, it's a leg entry here.
Oh, toe hold.
Toe hold. We haven't.
Oh.
Wow. Quick, lightning fast toe hold there. We have seen a lot of heel hook and knee bar entries from that position, but that is the first toe hold we've seen tonight. Such a sharp finish. Super well done. Yikes.
Wow.
Quick one.
That was really well done. An incredible finish from Felipe there. You know, it's one of those ones that you look at and you blink and you could have missed it. It was so fast and it looked like one thing was happening and then another did.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end in just 20 seconds.
Wow.
He is your winner by submission victory due to a heel hook. Let's hear it for Felipe Macatuno.
Wow. Beautiful toe hold finish in just 20 seconds, we heard.
Let's hear it one more time for Anthony Paredes.
Anthony Paredes also looked like, you know, immediately he was grabbing at that ankle. I don't know if he had an existing injury or maybe something, but man, that was a really, really immediate finish.
I've done probably everything I can do in the sport in terms of competing. I fought in one of the biggest promotions. I had a contract with Bellator. I fought professionally for 10 years. I've been competing since I was 8 years old in jiu-jitsu. I'm 34 now. There was times where I didn't go more than a month without competing for 11 years. My biggest thing was I couldn't say no. I was too dumb to turn down a fight sometimes. This is the biggest gap I've ever had without competing. And I think the thing that got me really excited about this next match that I'm getting ready for next month is I had two of my black belts compete at the last Subversiv at San Diego, and these guys are just as experienced as me, and they've devoted their life to jiu-jitsu, and I'm lucky enough to be in their corner. But when I get a message from Subversiv about coming back, it's, you know, you get FOMO. I've been doing this my whole life. It's hard for me to say no. And all I looked at was the time. Is there enough time for me to get in shape? Is there enough time for me to train? It was never about nerves or anything like that. I don't care. I'll go against anybody. So the time frame worked out. So let's do it. I'm nice to everybody. I treat everybody with a lot of respect. But I like to fight. I have a bad temper. I'm not a punk, and that's kind of been a big flaw where I'm nice to people in terms of, you know, business or in terms of, you know, just being a good person, and sometimes that gets taken for weakness, and Yeah, I'm not a punk. So there's been matches where people have gotten too aggressive and it's turned into fistfights or things like that. That's kind of my style where I don't really let any disrespect slide. So I think I'm a good person. I wouldn't call myself a hero, but when I, have to turn it on, I think I'm pretty aggressive. I don't know much about Chase at all. I will say if he's competing for Subversiv, I'm sure he's world class. Not taken lightly at all. I think he's probably really good. If he's competing on the same stage as me, I have nothing but respect for him, and I know he's going to be a game competitor. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the mats, Jared James.
All right, we've got our next match coming up. Jared James and Mateo Olmos. Jared James is coming out here with his walkout.
We get the opportunity to speak to both of these gentlemen in this combat jiu-jitsu match. Oh, I'm sorry, yes, it is combat jiu-jitsu match. Sorry. Just had a smudge here. I confused myself. It is a combat jiu-jitsu match, just to remind you guys. And these two gentlemen are super stoked. And I think one thing that you do find in these matches, you dangle a little bit of the slaps, and you see people come alive. And of course, he comes in. I mean, look at his corner as well. Matt Cox, who will be on a little bit later. And of course, Boogie. This is the gentleman who is so excited to be on this card.
Please welcome his opponent, Mateo Olmos.
Now, Mateo and Jared were basically telling us that they come from heavy wrestling categories. So obviously there's the slap. There's also kind of like the side bet. Who's going to be the wrestler to impose those there? Like, they are ready to throw down, and they were super stoked, and just the excitement from them. So this is a weird sort of thing. You don't often see PJ Mark on one side and Boogie on one side.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, we've got a Boogie and PJ face off here, and they're usually on the same side. Or up, and we see Boogie coaching PJ.
For sure. But if you look at it, like that look on his face, incredibly serious. I mean, even though this is combat jiu-jitsu, maybe wrestling is probably going to be something that they have excellent.
A reminder too that being grounded just means that one of your knees is on the mat, and then you start striking, right? So even if you drop to one knee, it's a beautiful foot sweep there as well for a second. So very, very high level stand-up. You often tell there's high level stand-up when there's a mix between the upper and lower body attacks instead of just being very very like unilateral with it. So if your foot sweep is connecting to your arm drags, to your chops, to your running headlocks, back to your throws, I mean, that is a really exciting position.
It's also just the strength and the ease in which they are able to move. Just their side to side. Woo! Here. KO taking a short break. Like a robot coming straight back to the middle. And listen, the audience kind of feeling the first effects of getting that front row taste. Bit of a look to try and get it underhook there by General, but does not get it. Again, this is all an intel gathering mission in these seconds of the match. You can see them, see if they can get the takedown, and man, he touches the leg with such great defense there by Mateo.
Yeah, Mateo's distance management is really impressive because there's a couple times now Jared's gotten in pretty deep, but look at that throw by from Mateo as well. You can tell Mateo is a big fan of upper body positioning, and that can really be an advantage when you have someone who shoots in lightning fast like Jared, because you can use the reaction to the person's shot to either throw them by or arm drag or just power redirect their movement and go to the back.
I think that means you're going to get to a takedown because there's no takedown made. So this is going to be interesting. You're going to see somebody play from the bottom and somebody play at the top, and that means you can now start slapping from this position. So do we stay here or do we stand back up? That's the intriguing question.
Might depend on who you ask.
Well, I think we have our answer right now as they immediately get back up. That's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Full guard.
You know what it looked like though? I think he was pulling in to wrestle up. I don't think he was pulling to stay.
Good call.
And you see that a lot with these great wrestlers. If they're not getting their way with the takedown, they will pull straight into a position that allows them to shoot up and come right on top because it still gets them in the top position. So not uncommon. Oh, we just pushed him right off and come back.
Phoebe not afraid. Props to her. I would have shot up and darted up. The only reason why that knee on the ground is interesting, look at the signpost it is. Jiu-jitsu? Sure. The wrestling? Maybe. But a combat jiu-jitsu with a interesting set. So now that we're back here.
Central scissor takedown there from Mateo.
Nice sneak in there. I mean, listen, at this point you recognize you're going to have to do something.
Yeah, once one knee is down, you're going to get hit in the face.
You gotta love when people pay attention to the rules.
Gotta be careful with that timing though, right? They pop up and then you're striking, you're going to be in trouble. I love that we're seeing Mateo really change up his change of attack. So he's trying different stuff, he's getting creative. And I think that that's a hard person to meet because you don't really know where they're going to go next. You're not tracking their patterns. A lot of times you see high-level athletes repeat the same patterns over and over throughout a match. That because one will get faster as they go on, and then one will kind of win that chess-like battle. But when you do have someone that's capable of throwing the kitchen sink at you, so to speak, then it can be really difficult to track and predict, and it can be scary. So now they're the opposite of the get-down rule, right? Now Mateo's on top, Jared on bottom. Before, Mateo stood right up, so we'll see if Jared tries to keep this body lock to take him down. And he does, and he's on top here. But look at that big butterfly and extension with the feet on the bottom for Mateo. Very clear that he was trying to stand up by creating extension space with the legs, but he didn't get quite up yet.
And I'll be honest, that's probably one of the better implementations of the get-down rule I've seen where, you know, some people think that you can use it for slaps, and sure, there is that. But you can still utilize it for your takedown if you have that opportunity. Ooh, the timing on knowing when that knee touches that ground. I feel like this is also a reflex test that you do in the doctor's office. So this is a good way to tell if you've got a solid recognition of that knee hitting that ground. I mean, even some of these club and digs are borderline strikes. Nice.
Yeah, great hand fighting and movement here from these guys.
Yes.
Neither of them really stays in a vulnerable position for very long. And so that's why we're seeing a lot of the takedowns are coming off of explosive movements because they're not really in like settled underhooks or settled 2-on-1s. You know, they're coming off of level changes and exchanges.
That's a fantastic observation. I was just noticing like the Z-like pattern that Gerard was hitting that most people don't even do. They move side to side, maybe sometimes back and forth, but every little bit helps, and I very much thought that was a great move there by him.
Jared's got a hold of that.
Yeah.
That foot there. That was a tough call because they called it mid takedown, but obviously. No, but I think, you know, when a get down rule is already about to be called in play, like they were already probably about to go for that, and then it was hard with the timing.
All right, the underhooks are here. We'll see if it is utilized to once again get a takedown. Or if, I mean, this is settling a little bit more into a traditional butterfly, trying to extend the hips. The hard part is the further you go back, the harder it is to get that momentum for a sweep sometimes.
This is a better position than we've seen Jared James in until now, and Mateo kind of accepts the position and goes into slaps. But, oh, wow, I was going to say, but he gives up the mount, and he does not. He does not give up the mount. He does a really quick hip switch there in combo with an extension, comes out to his knees and his feet once again.
And it's interesting because part of you wonders if it's really tight and close as a decision, and if it goes to decision, those extra slaps, you wonder, do those play into a judge's mind a little bit later if it goes the extended 90 seconds that we have in overtime? Because it's very possible we go to overtime in this match. Ooh. I mean, the speed on this is incredible. Nope, not my camera. Nope. gentlemen. Not this. Just little nerve-wracking here, everybody.
Almost took out the camera and almost took out Raf's heart in the process,
Oh my God.
but he did save it, and we're back in action.
We are okay. We shall prevail. I mean, the nice part is they've been up and at this for a minute, and they're still relatively loose. So that bodes well for how, oh, wow. What a way to greet someone when they have pulled guard.
It's got to be a confidence booster when someone sits and you hit them in the face and they pop back up because they don't want to get hit again. That was a beautiful attempt at an ankle pick.
Great attempt
A really well-timed movement by Mateo to remain standing
and
as
just
well.
off by a fraction, it looked like. I mean, they are just maybe losing a little bit more balance that they didn't necessarily have right at the top of the match. But there's a good attempt.
Wow, that's a deep double leg.
Nope. Love both these guys. Protect the camera. Most important, listen, not cool. Not cool. We're good, we're good. The angle's off a little bit, but, you know, we'll prevail.
We look great.
We
though,
look great.
So.
Back to the action on the mats. You know, now I think they're looking at each other like, are we allowed to hit from
What did we just
from
miss?
there?
What's wrong with what just happened?
Quite sure.
Or Jared looks like upset as far as like a slap happened at a time it shouldn't have, but we don't have a live replay, so we can't see exactly when it took place. Ten-second mark here. About to wind down. Really likely they're about to move into overtime. Again, we have a 90-second overtime that they'll move into that has no submissions. So it's very striking based.
All right, we are now into overtime where we'll remind you guys we are looking for aggression through strikes, and if it comes down to it and we make it all the way through for a judge's decision, they will so deem it. Oh, they are about to go through the commission itself.
Man, Jared's ability to time the shot there, he smelled the posture up of Mateo and was lightning fast sprinting through. I mean, gosh, that was incredibly timed. But they did go right off the mat, so they'll come right back into the standing position, of course.
All right, they're trying to rally them back on over this way. So they're talking to both gentlemen. They're trying to figure out where exactly we're going to position them. But, you know, it's one of those matches where, yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly how they're resetting them exactly to their specifications. But that is a butterfly here. And we'll see how it takes place. Double underhooks here by Gerard. Mateo looking again to try and keep it standing up and to get just a slight edge. Again, this is going to come down to strikes. Submissions do not matter in this overtime round, but they are getting aggressive and they're not stopping. I mean, they're within their rights to, because in this match, the referee must clearly stop them, and they're trying to get the crowd hyped up. But this is definitely a game of inches in this particular match between these gentlemen. We talked a little bit about throw-bys here, but this is getting increasingly a little bit more intense as there is a lot more riding on it. And I believe I heard a whistle over on this side.
For the shot clock here, so we're back in the center. Back on the shot clock, we're seeing Mateo here take top position one more time. And of course, Jared on bottom with that body lock. We're right up to his feet looking for some big upper body takedowns. Let's see if he can get Mateo to the ground, and he does. And now he's coming out to the back clinch. May see some strikes here from the top in the final 10 seconds of this match. He's raining down these palm strikes.
That might be enough to maybe get that little bit of an edge, because that was a pretty violent way to go.
I could see that.
Has made the decision. He is your winner, Jared James.
Wow, Jared James there. And I do think that the last 10 seconds of strikes really did come into play.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the mat, Matt Cox.
Matt Cox has been on our cards before. Just a very good athlete. He has picked up some incredible experience over the years. We saw him earlier in the corner over here on the right-hand side of the competition mats. And I gotta tell you, man, he is always return on demand for action. So very stoked to have him. And you know, we're very stoked to have our sponsors. Big shout outs to those who make all of this happen, including FITA, Brewery X, Soda Jerk, My NY Pizza, New Hope Regeneration, and of course the official charity of Subversiv Fight Club, Patriot Empowerment. Thank you all for your incredible help, your enthusiasm, and love for this sport. It goes a long, long way, and without it, we would not have the ability to have our athletes come and do such fun nonsense here in a abandoned factory. Well, that's all abandoned. There was stuff in here earlier, but yes, a mostly abandoned factory as Matt Cox now taking his position on the mats. He will be taking on a very game competitor. If you don't know who, get ready to know who.
And please welcome his opponent, Steven Martinez.
Steven Martinez. What can you say about this man? He has been a long-time jiu-jitsu competitor and still competing at the top echelon of jiu-jitsu competition. He's always a blast and a true delight to work with behind the scenes. And yesterday, you know, I don't normally drink on the job, but yesterday I had a beer because our sponsors, Brewery X, provided it. And somebody who also indulges in the IPAs, and I know this personally, is Steven Martinez, and he cracked one open with me, and that was pretty awesome.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, Steven Martinez is the best of the best. I mean, he has wins over really, really big names around, like Lovato. I mean, he has a win over Happy Lovato Jr. How many people can say that? And that was maybe 1 year ago, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So Steven, you know, he goes out, he wins everything there is to win in the Masters competitions, and then he comes out in a lot of super fight shows like this and beats the best adults around as well. So super fun person to watch. And Matt Cox, always super game. He was a last-minute taker of this match, too. And clearly, you know, not afraid to get in there with Steven right in on that single leg.
And, you know, that's the beautiful part about somebody like Steven Martinez. You could switch up the opponents on him, and he just kind of says, yeah, that's fine. I'm into it. I'm down to go up against the best, so why would I ever say no?
Oh, yeah. Steven was given so many names. It was just yes. Give me whoever. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Well, One thing about Steven, too, is that he has a very, very strong passing game, of course, but he has a really impressive butterfly, and he's very agile for a heavy, strong guy. His dexterity and his hip flexibility and mobility on bottom is very impressive. So he has a whizzer here on this on the right side, and you'll see him use that to do a big butterfly sweep overhead with his right leg. He even uses that left hand to either control the wrist on the far side or even pull the head in and control the head. And now, you know, seeing him switch to shoulder crunch, he has such a nice, wow. That was tight on that arm there for a second. He has such a nice ability to switch between the upper and lower body when he's playing butterfly. It makes it very hard to avoid getting swept.
Absolutely. And I mean, the nice part for me is every time I see Steven Martinez, you just mentioned his guard game. I feel like so many times you know him as this incredible pressure passer. You see him as somebody who will put his shoulder through your face into the ground, and right now you're seeing him opt to play here. And these butterfly guards are actually, they're solid, and he'll sneak that arm crunch on you. So he's got tricks that sometimes you may not even be aware of despite the many years you're following this guy's career.
100%.
And again, Steven thought about a little bit of a shoulder crunch, doesn't quite get it, and a little bit of gamesmanship. There might have been a slight poke of the eye, but Steven doesn't even want the time to recover from it. He says he's all right. Nonetheless, gentlemen, both are back on their feet. A little bit of positioning, slight game of mercy. Back over this side, I mean, I think I see, and maybe you could tell me if you see this as well, is Matt Clocks bleeding at the eye over here?
Let's see, we'll get a better look in a second,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
in just a moment, I think you'll get a better look at it. I couldn't tell if it was just a light that was hitting him, but if he is bleeding at the eye, it is impressive given the fact this is not a combat jiu-jitsu match.
Oh, back in on another single.
Oh, beautiful reaction
spin
time by Steven Martinez.
Yes, that was a really nice, sometimes that can be a mistake, spinning that way, if your hips are more controlled than you think they are, and so you're like, spin and you get your back taken, but he knew that it was just the lower part of his knee where his shin is, and so he was able to spin and rotate, come to the top, and now we're seeing this beautiful passing game we've been talking about where he does a great job really smashing the hips together. And you'll see like his right arm, he has shoulder pressure, but it's not only about the shoulder pressure. What he does with the shoulder pressure is he keeps his opponent flat on their back, keeps their spine aligned to the floor so that they can't turn on their side. And that's really what he's looking for. So that even without the underhook, because typically we want the underhook here on the left arm, even if he's stuck with a whizzer here, because of the placement of his right arm and the placement of his hips, always walking, watch his left knee, always walking his opponent's knees away from him, he's still able to keep that spine and those hips flat to the ground, parallel to the ground, even without the underhook, which most people can't do.
Absolutely. And I mean, it takes years to put that together. I've seen him work this in the gi, and it almost feels like you have more grips there. In no gi, Steven Martinez doesn't need extra grips. He just makes the pressure avail itself by perfect head positioning and just taking his time. Like, look at this. This is pressure passing 101 just in front of your eyes. And Matt is very much in trouble here because that arm is sneaking up past that head, and that is very difficult to get back with somebody as not only strong, but as proficient as Steven Martinez is in that mount position.
Interesting to see Matt Cox grabbing his hands here together because I think he feels the arm triangle coming, of course. And so he's trying to prevent what's happening right now, which is right arm going over the top of his face. And so even though you can do that by gripping your hands together, it helps you avoid the position, but it's almost like a prolonging of the inevitable because it's not helping you escape. Although as I say that, he bridged at the same time and created enough space to come out. So,
you know, there was a part of me that was wondering if Matt was shooting that up in the hopes that he might just have a look at the leg, does not quite get it, and now as a result of it, maybe taking it. He thought for a split second he might have a choke here, but no, he did not. Back to passing again for Steven Martinez, who's willing to take that time, and
what did he finish a topside knee bar? I missed it.
Wow, I think he did. I couldn't even tell if it was a knee bar or if he attacked the arm.
I've seen him, if it was the knee bar, it was lightning fast. I mean, I missed it. I've seen him finish that before from top half, but it may have been an arm.
You know,
we're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out, and I'm gonna ask him about it. I think that's the right thing to do.
Let's get some answers.
Ladies and gentlemen, let these two He is your winner at 4 minutes and 54 seconds by submission victory due to a knee bar. Let's hear it for Steven Martinez. And let's hear it one more time for Matt Cox.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined here by your winner, the incomparable Steven Martinez. Sir, that was a lightning fast finish. We almost didn't see it. Talk us through how you were able to get that knee bar finish.
It's a topside knee bar from half guard. You bait with the pass, and they try to hook the leg to defend the pass, and you drop your hips down.
For a split second, you were showing us, hey, don't forget, I've got a good guard game too. You pulled guard, we're so used to seeing you on top, but it wasn't long before we saw you up there, sir. Tell us about this, what comes up next for you, and where can people train with you?
Thank you, Subversiv, for throwing on this great event. Hopefully I'll be on the next one with some students. You guys already know, you're welcome to come train at Peerless Jiu-Jitsu in Corona. And thank you all for the support.
Well, now that he's put in the work, let's get a Brewery X beer for this man because he's put in hell of work here. Steven Martinez, it's always a blast seeing you. Please enjoy your night. Ladies and gentlemen, Steven Martinez!
You're gonna see me reacting and causing a reaction in there, and just there's gonna be a lot of action and movement, athleticism, all around grappling with me. I don't ever stall or stop. Staying calm and being able to hear your coach and just stick to your game plan and be persistent. That's what I find going on with me. I train specifically to defend myself and create opportunities that are gonna bring out my strengths. It's not gonna be a walk in the park with me. You're not gonna just be able to take me down. I'm gonna stand my ground and I'm gonna look for my takedown to end up on top. And if it goes the other way, I'm on my back, I'm prepared for that too, like you guys saw in my last fight. Yeah, my last match was with a well-respected MMA guy. He's like a Team Quest MMA fighter, like 4-time champ. So I went out there and I leg locked him. Used the arsenals, you know, in my tool set, so. I'm fighting tough guys out there who are known. And that's what I want. I want to fight these tough guys, these black belts, these Brazilians, these MMA fighters, these guys with names. I'm really appreciative to be on Subversiv roster because, to tell you the truth, a lot of grapplers out here want to be on that show because that show is just so sick. I like grappling and striking. I like ground and pound. So yeah, it's super dope. And having my family behind me, my wife here and my kid here, it gives me the motivation and the power and the fuel, the energy I need behind me to allow me to keep pushing through this tough sport and grappling. You need all the energy you can get, and having my son here and my wife gives me power. Finding people and knowing what their strengths are and swimming in those waters with them to sharpen our tools. That's what I like. I'm Larry Stroud. I train here at 10 Planet Riverside. Come check me out at the next Subversiv Fight Club, November 22nd.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the mat, Larry Stroud. Please welcome his opponent, Rafael Barbosa.
Oh. Well, friends, we move on to Larry Stroud versus another Rafael Barbosa, who sans shirt, sans rash card, making his way out, all business. Larry Stroud coming in with an incredible team. We've seen already his good friend Kenneth Klein already, but let's see what happens when Mr. Stroud goes to work against an incredible Rafael Barbosa. And you know, it's kind of weird. In this particular match, it is a regular jiu-jitsu match, I believe, on this one. And I think there was like a slight disappointment from Larry, who might have been down to throw some paws, but I don't think we'll be short on action. And I mean, that post on the face right there. Already a dart here by Rafael, who, man, for a split second.
What a double leg there from Rafael.
And you know, to his credit, Larry was bracing for that impact, was starting to elevate him, didn't quite get up, but has the underhook. Maybe just slightly off. Nope. Now looking at a leg here on Barbosa. Oh, and he gets the tap. Well done. Wow. An incredible finish there by one Larry Stroud. Wow, well done. Well done by that young man. He might have yelled at me. I'm not sure if that was clearly at me, but it was definitely hyped to his crew. And you know what? That merits an interview. Let's go talk to him. I'll be right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end at 43 seconds. He is your winner by submission victory due to a heel hook. Let's hear it for Larry Stroud! Rafael Barbosa.
No, don't talk to him, talk to me. Come on over this way. Mr. Stroud, well done on the finish. How are you feeling right now, sir?
Just getting warmed up. I'm like ready to go for another match. You know,
we don't have any more for you tonight, but maybe in the future, maybe February, maybe sometime in the near future, sir. Yeah. But you got hype. Look at this crew over here. You came and screamed, and I was very afraid of you over there.
Yo, shout out to my boy Jordan. Shout out to 10 Planet Riverside, Route 66. It's my family right here.
Hey, it was definitely a family affair here. They were cheering for you. They gave you that energy. Talk me through your finish.
You know, I knew that my opponent's talented. You know, he's got a nice record in MMA. He's lengthy, he's long, he's big. I know he's strong. I felt him, but you know, my leg locks are pretty dangerous. You know, so.
That's a mild way of putting it. You got an incredible finish here tonight, sir. You shouted them out, but I'd love to hear you say it one more time. Tell the people over here, give the shout outs to the people who made you perform like you did here today.
All right, I really want to give a big shout out to Jiu-Jitsu. That's my main sponsor. If you guys want to, you know, Larry Stroud, get the code, go get you some gear. Shout out to my coach Gus right here. Yep. Shout out to my coach Kalen. I got a D1 wrestler in the house, and my wife Eminis, and also Eddie Bravo too.
You better get that one in there, my friend. Hey, listen, you were a delight at the press conference. You deserve this. Congratulations to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Stroud!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the mat, Tyler Benecki.
All right, here we go with our next match of the evening. We got Tyler Benecki and Jeremy Benecki. Let me make sure this is not a typo.
Jeremy Gray!
It's Gray. Had it wrong on my sheet, but I was like, that can't be right.
So Jeremy Dre, D-R-E-Y. It is a confusing name. On our list, it was actually Tyler Benecki's name was just listed twice as Tyler Benecki and Jeremy Benecki. And I don't know that we'd make brothers fight each other here at Subversiv Fight Club, but maybe we will. Who's to say?
Unless it was a special request and there's some drama involved.
I was about
and
to say.
then I would like to know about it. Send me an email.
Wouldn't that be
and
great
I'll consider.
if their mom's like, you know what, they have been annoying me. They're going to go settle it here at Subversiv Fight Club.
Oh, we got the American flag coming out. Love to see it.
I mean, Jeremy Dre, a construction worker. We did interviews with him, and he took time out of his job with a pitchfork behind him. Legitimately was on the job while doing an interview against his opponent, Tyler Benecki. And Tyler Benecki, just, if you saw his last match, he did not win, but if you were watching the first few minutes of that match, he was impressively doing some jiu-jitsu that made you stand up and say, hey, there is something to his game, and that's why we brought him back. He is an intense character, and these two are going to be well matched against each other. Let's see them go to work.
They're both very intense, if I do say so myself.
And I mean, just in case you're wondering, Jeremy is the one with multicolored hair, while Tyler has no hair on the head.
Yeah, interesting to see. Jeremy has apparently a strong favor for big frames on the neck, right? We're kind of seeing, but as I say what a little drag by Tyler Benecki straight to the back, and this is combat jiu-jitsu, so we're immediately seeing some slaps once they've gone to the ground. He is not under the chin yet, but it could be tight enough to get the finish, but it looks like he's over the face.
Oh my goodness, that is pretty rough. Now, Tyler said he originally wanted to get the first KO in Subversiv Fight Club history, but I mean, I don't think he's going to be complaining if he ends up taking this win via rear naked choke, but he is definitely doing a great job of softening up Jeremy in this position.
Yeah, look at the extension,
that might be enough right here.
With the body triangle and the choke in at the same time.
That's gonna get the finish right there. Well done. You know, Tyler Benecki said he was gonna give you a finish. He made good on that promise here tonight. And him and two of his gentlemen did incredible work. Anxiety every time he does that. You know what? I'm gonna go yell at him on the microphone.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these two competitors one more round of applause. He is your winner by tap-out victory. Let's hear it for Tyler Benecki. And let's hear it one more time for Jeremy Dre.
Tyler, you're cutting a promo over there. You need to cut one over here with the microphone, sir. Come on over this way. over this way. Hey, you promised us a finish. You were saying you were gonna get it via strikes. Maybe not today, but we're gonna have to settle for a badass rear naked choke,
He gave me the back. He gave me the back. I had to take it.
But hey, it wasn't without you trying to soften him up with those strikes, so you did return on that promise. It was a great night for you and your crew. Talk to me right now. How does this moment feel to you?
This feels so amazing, especially not just for me, but to get here to do this with my friends and family, even my coworkers. This is amazing. First and foremost, I have to give a huge thank you to Riverside MMA and to my coach, Matt Curl. He's been there with me for the past 11 years. Motherfucker's been there through thick and thin. He's the best. And I just love you, Matt, and I want to say thank you. And then I got to thank Kenny and Larry. We are the interracial dream team. We want to do a 3-on-3 match with anybody. Let's go. 3-on-3, combat jiu-jitsu only. No bitch shit. Let's go.
You know what? I don't know if you guys have made that t-shirt, but make that t-shirt now. No bitch shit is the way to go.
Also, shout out to New Hope. You guys are not sponsoring me yet. I wore your shit. I told you yesterday I was going to get a win. I need those stem cells. Hook it up.
Well, you know what, sir? I got to tell you this. You and your crew were a delight to get to know this week. You guys delivered. Congratulations to all three of you guys. We will definitely see you back here at Subversiv Fight Club. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up to one, Tyler Bernaga. Sorry. Hold on. I fucked that up. That's on me. Let's do it together. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Tyler Beneke. I fucked that up. That's on me. I got you.
Folks, you know him, you love him, Noah Tillis. Just an incredible human being. Always one of the funnest people to watch compete here in Southern California. And we are so pleased to have him be our co-main event here at Subversiv Fight Club, the very first installment. We spoke with Noah Tillis, who told us this is another day at the office. He's been competing for as long as he has in jiu-jitsu and MMA. He's not wrong.
And please welcome his opponent, Chase Chico.
And if you know anything about Chase, you know he has an incredible story, just a fantastic coach, a fantastic motivator. He's been somebody who has helped a lot of prominent MMA individuals and athletes get better on their strength and training regimens. He's known as like a secret weapon for a lot of really incredible talent. And you see the results in their work. So my deepest appreciation to him and to many people who are tuning in because of him and his great story. We got the chance to talk to both people in an interview. They were so complimentary to one another. They just said they want to go out there and have a great day of competition. And you kind of feel from both of them. They're hyped, they're excited, they want to do business. And we're about to see them go to work.
All right, here we go. Here we go. We're in action. This is the second to last fight of the night. So don't blink. You're going to miss the rest of the action here. We've got Noah Tillis and Chase Chicos. Is that how you say it, Chicos?
I believe it's Chicos.
Chicos?
Chicos. Oh, you know what? That's going to be something I'm just going to ask him how to pronounce his name when we do it next time.
All right, here we go. Nice level changes here from Noah Tillis.
And I'm happy to tell you we can get confirmation, Chase Chicos. I
Thank
wanted
you.
to make sure we don't butcher as many names as possible.
Chase did a great job. Like I've seen him a couple times now look to pop the elbows up, open up the elbows, and find that shot on the legs. And he exchanges it with really deep level changes. So I think when somebody can have, wow, nice little foot tip attempt there. Way to find his own balance, though. You know, Noah was able to come back up to his feet.
All right, I think they're letting them know we want to see action on the ground, so it does look like we have a get-down rule. Here in Jiu-Jitsu, for this Subversive Fight Club, we like to see action, so it's part of the reason why you're going to see some, kind of implementations for these double underhooks to try and provoke more action on the ground and get our athletes moving. You know, sometimes you want the wrestling to be something intense and fun to watch, and this is just one way to add in a little bit of pressure. Speaking of pressure, look at that posturing on the face here by Chase.
Yeah, Noah really doing a great job. Sometimes it can be difficult if you overreact to that big frame and you really let yourself get frustrated and wiggle away, and you actually create more space for the person. You help them out. Sometimes you do just have to eat it a little bit and just turn your face to the side and kind of let, your weight. You can move your body up towards their shoulders instead of like hover over them, instead of push straight back in, and then kind of open their arm up over their body and allow them to collapse, which is what we're seeing, right? As Chase's arms start to get elevated over his head.
And Chase is very familiar with Noah's game. He said how much he appreciates him as a competitor. He's definitely taken the most out of this opportunity. And he's just said, part of the reason he wanted this match is because he's seen Noah's work. He said, yeah, let me get some of that action. This dude has been a storied competitor here in the SoCal scene. And, if you look over to the side, you see Dorian, who's in the corner of Chase, and he's been a secret weapon for the strength and conditioning of Dory. But I will tell you this, Noah's very close to having that mount very, very secure. There's just a little bit of that leg trapped in, but this is a great position for Noah to go to work.
It'd be smart here for Noah not to rush this transition, right? And we can see sometimes that's, got kicked in the neck on accident there. You can see both these guys are kind of like, oh shoot, that was not what I intended to do, but his foot came up, hit the neck, and the referee's saying, hey, we didn't stop, keep going, guys.
Yeah, I mean, to his credit, Noah didn't, overreact to it. He just kind of said, hey, stuff happens. I'm not happy about it. Nobody wants to get kicked in the face.
Yeah, again, nice level changes from both of these guys. They do a great job attacking the upper body to get you to overreact and then jump back in on the legs.
Beautiful stuff. I like the timing there from Noah, but Chase was right on top of it. Noah Tillis is one of those individuals as well, he understood he had a good moment there. He can't let up. He can't give any mistakes on over to Chase, because Chase has been very, very good with the matches that I've seen him in, where he does know how to counter incredibly well. And Noah's just been around this game for so long. It's a very clean style, but his timing for as long as he's been doing this is so incredibly solid.
Trying to keep these guys in the center as they're rotating around. I would say, it's interesting you mentioned that Chase has such a big role in the strength and conditioning world, because Dory is somebody as a competitor. Oh, we're in a snatch single here and covering the head. Now they've almost identically exchanged positions from that top half guard smash. And Noah here has Chase has the underhook on the top side as well. So really good passing position for him to keep that far shoulder pinned on the ground if he can. Now he's turning towards the hip. He's kind of rotating his left hip down to the ground. He might try to use his right hand to pry that knee open and maybe bring the knee over to a mount style pass or a knee cut.
I want to point out the distance that Dory traveled to go coach him. He started over in the far corner and is now mid-mats just to make sure his guy is going to hear all the instructions.
He's also recording, so he's playing, he's playing mom and coach.
Good camera angles.
Love
That's
that
important.
For him.
That is something I look at.
Social media manager. We need that, We all need a Dory.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say Dory's conditioning is something that you've noticed if you're paying attention to his competition has really increased in the last couple of years. So I wonder if Chase has a lot to do with that. You said,
you see Dory. He shouted him out in one of my interviews, just saying just the pain and the amount of put that he gets on him is so incredible. But yet at the same time, I have to say, you're seeing Chase kind of hold this position because.
Well, you're seeing his left arm is keeping the left arm of Noah at bay.
Yep.
But he hasn't been able to bring his right knee over yet. Yeah. Every time his right hand pries the right knee open, he's trying to go to the mount, but then Noah regains control of the top of the thigh again. So it's hard because if he goes to a knee cut, he risks losing the underhook on the far side, and then you're dealing with someone who's coming up and wrestling up, and they're in that, you know, like dogfight position. But now his knee's over for the first time. If he can keep the underhooks,
Ooh.
wow, he does come into a full mount here. This is the first completed mount that I think we've seen.
And again, very similar reversed. You know, Noah kind of gets that half guard just that right last second, but you know, they mirrored each other, but maybe Chase had a little bit more control time. It's very interesting to see how this one will play out. Our judges are conferring over there. We'll get a decision, but I will go and talk to one of the winners. So let's see what happens here.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these two fighters one more round of applause. Your referee has made his decision. He is your winner, Chase Chico. And let's hear it one more time for Noah Tillis.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and call over your winner, Chase Chicos, but he wants to go. I know you want to go over to them. I'm going to give you a second here. Go ahead and say hello to them. While you do that, shout out everybody who has been hitting the bar. Thank you so much for supporting us and supporting all these athletes. We appreciate you guys. Also, big shout out to Brewery X. Love you guys. Love the beer. I'm having some in a few minutes. All right, let's get on over to you, sir. Congratulations. How you feeling right now? Because you mentioned you wanted that match with Noah because of his history, how great he is as a competitor. That had to feel good to get that win here tonight.
Yeah, man. Noah has been a black belt twice as long as I've been training, so that was going to be a challenge for sure. Happy to get the W, to be honest. He popped my rib in the first minute.
Oh my God.
So the rest of it was just tough that shit out, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. Tough that shit out. Get the W. Hey, I just want to leave with one message. Hey, man, chase your dreams, man. Chase your dreams, people. Look, you can see me out here, one arm, putting in work. If I can do it, then anybody can do it, man. Find something you love, go after that shit. That's the message I want to give to everybody. Find something you love, go after that shit. Don't let nobody tell you no different. Everybody can do whatever they want to. I promise you, put in work over years, you'll get exactly what you want in life. I promise you that. 5, 10 years later, see what you're at. Let's go.
Chase, you put in the work tonight. You deserve this. Go enjoy your moment with your team. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, again, thank you, Subversiv, for having me. I want to thank my coaches, Dory, Jonathan, Checkmate HQ, Hustle. Thank you guys, man. Thank you, Subversiv, for having me. That might be a one and done for me. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Let's hope not, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, give up all the love for Chase Chicos.
You take what works and you discard what doesn't work. So that's always been my approach to this game, is just learn techniques. I would say I'm not a traditional jiu-jitsu guy. Now I've been taking my game to the next level. The biggest reason why I do all the competitions and everything else that I do is to become a better fighter, because at the end of the day, I'm a fighter first.
So we got JAVIER GARCIA coming out for the Subversiv main event, and he's excited to go out there and get another shot at showing why he's not just an MMA guy, but a high-level grappler. We're gonna see it on display.
Me and my coaches have like a game plan that we're running. Plan A, plan B, plan C. I'm pretty much just focusing on all the visualization I did up to that point and visualizing the fight ending the way I wanted to, which is by me finishing my opponent. I try to stay real calm and collected when I'm in there. And then also like a little bit mean and nasty, but I'll keep those thoughts to myself. The owner of the show did promise me last time that if I got a TKO, I would get a cash bonus. And I hope that offer is still on the table. I've won world titles in MMA, wrestled, I have a jiu-jitsu black belt, and now combat jiu-jitsu is the new thing. So I'm happy to be a part of Subversiv, and I'm here for them. Let's do it.
So you guys can expect to see some combat. I'm gonna try to make it nasty. I'll be a lot more careful this time about letting the ref step in and putting myself in these certain positions, but I'm gonna go there to do what I came to do, which is beat that fool's ass. We got a fight coming up for Subversiv in November 22nd. I'm gonna be headlining the event. It's gonna be in Rancho Cucamonga. Come check out some combat jiu-jitsu, some violence, and come have a good time.
Please welcome Javier Garcia.
Oh, man, it is incredible to see Javier Garcia making his way on out.
JORDAN WIRTH.
Okay, so if you're tuning in, you might have expected a different opponent that was going to be walking out here against one Javier Garcia, the storied MMA fighter. Things change, and as a result, we lost the co-partner on this main event, but here stepping in on a moment's notice, had his physicals, had everything, had his blood work all finished, and
he made it happen.
He made it happen.
He's here, and we are going to get a great show out of these guys, I tell you what.
So here's some good news, though. We didn't just put any main event together. These two gentlemen have basically matched up before, and this is one where I believe they might be 1-1 against one another. So now we kind of have the rubber match, and this is under combat jiu-jitsu, and Javier not wasting any time.
I love when these guys return the strikes from the bottom position. I think it keeps it spicy. I really like that, especially with that knee shield, that good distance control.
Yep.
You can kind of keep those strikes from coming down too hard and still release the pressure. It's like a spring. You can release it to come up when you want, and then you can push it back out when you want a little more room. I like the slaps to the legs.
Little talked leg slaps, they definitely can get a reaction out of you. Jordan has a very solid guard, trying to get that sweep out of it, but now goes straight to close guard, pulling down Javier. But, you know, so far Javier's posture not fully broken just yet, so we'll see exactly how this takes place. And if you're an MMA fighter, sometimes you like playing from inside a guard. Perhaps not with somebody's really good rubber guard on occasion. Oh.
Wow, look at that.
And I'm not sure.
There's a lot of confidence in a rubber guard like that. You're going to follow someone up like that with strikes
Yeah.
involved. You better know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And, you know, credit to Jordan. As soon as he lost it, he drops back to his back, but he immediately comes into a more defensive guard where his legs are in front. He's able to keep the distance with the knee shield again.
And I do believe that, you know, Jordan has been training with Jake Shields. There was a little bit of an exchange where he said, hey, we're looking for somebody to treat leg locks and kind of teach us how to do this. And Jordan was like, me? There's so many other people. And he's like, no, I've seen your work. You do great stuff. So that's how that association goes. And for, well, you know, Javier, he's with that CMMA team. So this is a very normal occurrence for him to be able to mix in the strikes, because you see him competing so regularly, not just in MMA, but in jiu-jitsu. He was recently had an MMA fight. About a week later, I think, competed at a major jiu-jitsu event, and now he's here doing combat jiu-jitsu. So this man is just a very, very active combat sports athlete. And you know, it's easy to look at somebody with Javier's history and say that's a great gimmick. The mariachi, the walkouts with the full band and all of that. That's really something he did. That is something he did with his family.
History. It's family.
And that is incredible to see when you have a family that is a traveling band, especially in the Hispanic culture. It's a very big thing. And Jordan may be looking in on a leg here on Javier.
This is pretty deep because he has really good isolation above the knee line. He could be looking for a straight ankle. He's getting some extension on the foot. We're not seeing too much of a grimace yet, but we are seeing some extension. Be interesting to see if he tries to go belly down, right? So Jordan could turn towards his stomach and apply some more pressure. But notice Javier's keeping his left hand on the knee, on the top of the knee. So a couple things that does is it doesn't allow Jordan to take his foot out and put the foot on the hip and then pop over, but it also allows him to potentially go back and attack his own heel, which he did a moment ago.
And you know, if Javier gets his knee line safe here, you got to feel like he thinks, all right, now I can go back into slapping my way to pass guard or get into a better position. So from here, you know, that was a really good opportunity for Jordan to make an impression, because this is where Javier feels like he can grind out a win.
Yeah, Javier is doing a great job of controlling the knee shield with his belly, so he's had his grip cage over the top of the knee now, and so it doesn't have as much of a great effect as a distance management tool. And I think that Jordan's feeling that, right? So he's trying to bring that bottom leg. He tried for a second, maybe looking at closed guard or maybe going in. We saw some rubber guard from him earlier. He's obviously very comfortable there. But with his left leg being smashed that way, I think now he's probably going to be looking for more of a, it's evading me. It's evading me, the electric chair.
The
lockdown.
Lockdown. It's okay. It was like,
I've only been doing jiu-jitsu my whole life, actually, if you were wondering, only for approximately 23 years.
you know, every so often a word will escape you, but you know what you're talking about. You're talking about the idea of getting a lockdown to alleviate some of that pressure.
Yes,
but
sir.
sometimes
thanks for the backup.
It's hard to get, but yet here we are.
It's 11:15 p.m.
We put in good work here.
And I also just drank a cold brew for my drive home and the rest of the show. So
I'm glad you did, because I want you to make it home safe.
It is scrambling my brain, though. So anyway, the lockdown, yes. We did not see the lockdown, though. So either way, my prediction was actually wrong, because now Jordan's bringing his left foot up. He could look for a butterfly. He did just pop that butterfly hook in, which was, I think, a really smart move. Allowed him to bring his other leg in, and now back into the knee shield, back in that distance management. And he better, because Javier was starting to drop some bombs there, and there was some heavy hands.
And you know what's so great is every time, that is that commitment that you have to a good position when he just continuously gets that knee shield up. Because if you don't have that line of defense, you're just going to take strikes from an MMA fighter, and yet you neutralize it. And here, speaking of neutralizing, that posture is broken down. That foot is all the way over. And is he going with shades of Ben Eddy right here? Is he trying to lock this down? He has his own arm kind of draped over that foot. And sometimes you could get a finish from just flexing the foot up and almost turning that into almost, what, a go-go plata here?
Yeah.
Wow. That flexibility evades me. So, he's starting to crunch that on the inside. If he pulls this off, that would be an incredible moment. Javier is trying to fight the grip, and he does tap.
Wow,
well done.
right at the end, right before the bell as well.
Wait. I think they're, did he make it though? I do believe that will count as a tap, and I got to tell you, that was an incredible moment.
Jordan's pointing at his tattoo. Is that a Ted Planet tattoo?
I think it might be.
I think it was, yeah.
But, you know, we are never clear on all things, so I'm going to go see who I could talk to in this one. Be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these two competitors one more round of applause.
Oh, and some break dancing as well to close this up.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is your winner at 5 minutes and 33 seconds by tap out victory due to an omoplata. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Wirth! And let's hear it again for Javier Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you, before they do the interview, I want you to remember, the party is not over. They're going to be around here for the next few hours. So continue to drink, continue to listen to music and have fun and meet your fighters. Come on, take pictures. The party does not end. Also, you are welcome to show up tomorrow morning right here at the same place for the kids program. Thank you so much for coming out.
All right, ladies and gents, we have some some interviews to do. I'm going to talk to you in a second, Javi, but I want to give some props to Jordan. Jordan, an insane story of you getting here. What the hell happened? You were supposed to be here facing somebody else, and then of course, nonsense happens, things happen, but maybe fate happened. What happened that brought you here to the main event here tonight at Subversiv Fight Club?
Hey man, everything happens for a reason, bro. I really believe that. My first opponent, you know, my first opponent pulled out, and there's no reason to name the guys. First opponent pulled out, and then I got a rematch, and I got a replacement opponent. It was supposed to be a rematch against the guy. We did the whole interview. 24 hours later, he pulls out. So I already had my trip all booked out. I had to pay a bunch of money. Medicals were expensive in Vegas. They were like $250. I had to get hotels. I drove out here, so I already was out of pocket. Like, they were like, oh, you don't have an opponent, just come, you know, promote it. And then 2:30 today, they let me know. They're like, hey, you're the main event. And I'm like, what do you mean, bro? Like, I've been eating donuts and carne asada burritos. I got like 4 hours of sleep last night. Like, I thought there was zero chance of me fighting. This mouth guard right here, I just bought a few hours ago at Big 5. Didn't even come with a mouth guard. Lucky I even had training gear. Shout out High Rollers for always keeping me stocked up. But yeah, speaking of High Rollers, me and Javi have already done this 2 times prior to this in High Rollers. So I know him. He's a very tough opponent. I have a lot of respect for Javier. Gamer. He's the double champ now of LFA, you know. So nothing but the respect and for Javier. He stepped up to the plate when nobody else wanted to.
Well, speaking of stepping up, sir, we can't thank you enough. Hey, listen, so many people would turn out a match against Javi. You didn't. You showed up and you did it in record time. You were able to get here for us. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate you. And I know everybody here appreciates you for making sure they had a fantastic main event. Jordan, I want to give you props. I want to say thank you so much. Shout out your team. Shout out everybody who helped you, sir.
Shout out to 10th Planet Las Vegas. Shout out to Extreme Couture, my main coach, Jake Shields. Shout out to Eddie Bravo. And shout out to everybody that's been supporting me, man. I have so many supporters, so many fans, so much family. Shout out to my girlfriend right here on the couch. She's been, you know, the glue that's been keeping my life together lately, man. So really can't thank her enough. And yeah, shout out 10th Planet as well, always.
You hit her, well, I was going to say last. I was going to make sure. I was like, no, you always take care of her last. But hey, Jordan, thank you so much for coming through, brother. We can't tell you how much we appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Wirth. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to talk with Javier Garcia. Javi, come on over here, my man. I got to tell you this, my man. It has been an insane week, and you showed up like a professional. You gave us an incredible match. I cannot thank you enough. How are you feeling right now?
I feel good. Obviously, I wanted to get the win, especially against Jordan. Like you said before, that we've had a couple matches. And I would have really liked to get a training camp with him, but if it wouldn't have been for him, this whole event would have fallen off. So I think Jordan Wirth represents what a real martial artist is. He's ready anytime, anywhere, doesn't care about the rules, the weight. And despite all the bullshit that happened with my other opponent, I'm an MMA fighter first and foremost. And the reason why I'm out there submitting these professional fighters is because I'm willing to put myself in these situations versus some of the best in the world, like this guy. And so I just really appreciate him coming. I would like to get a rematch. I feel like I was winning till the very end. So how about you guys give us a full camp and let's run it back for the belt. Let's go.
What do you say about that, Jordan? You good? Oh, I mean, we know that. He's always down. You know, I think we can talk to some people and make that happen. Can we shout out some sponsors for you, sir?
Yeah, shout out to Freedom Juice. Shout out to Glass House Farms, Death Grip. I got a whole bunch of sponsors, honestly, so I just want to thank them all. Thank you to my coaches. They're sitting right there. I got Chad George, Yoda, and then I got Brandon Mejia. He's been teaching me how to focus better. And I just really appreciate everybody who's on my team who came to support me. I know I didn't get the victory, but you know, it is what it is. We're getting better, and we will be the world champ one day.
You definitely got better, and I got to tell you this, man. You're always a professional. I appreciate your time. Cannot thank you enough. Sir, you enjoy the rest of your night. Get this man a beer. Let him enjoy his night. I also heard there's one more person who wanted to talk with me tonight, and I believe that's Noah Chen. Noah, come on over here real quick, sir. The reason why I was told that Noah Chen wanted to speak with me is because not only is he our Subversive champ, but champ, you're here on an off night. We didn't have an opponent for you.
Of course not.
You didn't have something to do here tonight, but do you have something to say?
Yeah, man. Shout out to the IE. This is my hometown, so it's great to be here, have Subversiv in the area. Obviously, thank you to everybody for coming out. It was a great event. Thank you to the whole Subversiv team. Just announcing, though, Kemoy Anderson will be my next opponent for my first title defense, February 22nd at the Hard Rock Casino. Kemoy, if you're watching this, man, I hope you're ready, because you're not coming home with this belt. You're just going to be another line of victims. He did have the win over me about a year ago. I'm going to get that back in even better fashion, so I hope you're ready, man. Let's put on a good show, and thank you for all my supporters. Good to be here, watch the matches, it was crazy, and yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
Well, you guys heard it here first. We got a hell of a match coming up and you know what? This being a nice representation of us, and you're always a great representation of a martial artist, I gotta tell you, brother, go enjoy your night. To the champ, ladies and gentlemen, Noah Chen, everybody. Hey, if you guys are still hanging around, that means you support us. We love you so much. We cannot thank you enough. Keep the party going, bar's still open, enjoy yourself. Hey, thank you for making Subversiv Fight Club an incredible evening. We will see you back in February, but for right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great day for grappling. Have a great night.